Just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar, the Dirty Merger podcast, now known as the Dirty Merger podcast. As a fantastic fan on the weekend during Hello Sport Live, they came up with it, the Dirty Merger podcast.
DMP.
What are your thoughts on the Dirty Merger podcast? The thoughts on the...
Well, initially, I was like, they were calling us a DMC, which was inappropriate in the extreme. But then as we worked our way to a nice solution, I think Dirty Merger podcast works quite well. We are a Dirty Merger podcast, but we're killing it. So that's the only difference, I would say, to us and a Dirty Merger club. We win comps.
Well, I think so. And the other difference is once we leave this desk, it's not a Dirty Merger podcast anymore. We go off and we do our own uniform thing.
Okay.
Which is a big difference between that and a Dirty Merger club, which it doesn't matter. When you go home, you still play for a Dirty Merger club. When you go on holidays, you still play for a DMC. You know what I mean? Look, you can't get away. You can't wash yourself off.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm happy with Dirty Merger podcast.
Yeah.
I don't have the same hate, I guess, for Dirty Merger as you guys do.
We do for clubs, not for podcasts.
We don't hate them. We just don't respect them.
Brought to you by Bloke in a Bar as usual, guys. Matter of fact, we have a huge announcement that we announced actually 2 days ago, but the Monday podcast with the Finchman. Official shirts dropping next Monday, 6 p.m. One of the boys tees. That's what they're called. They're called one of the boys. Here's the black version.
Very hot. Very hot.
Really fell
Very
apart.
hot.
Dude, you're looking thicker. I know you're pretending like you're trying to lose weight, but I'm seeing the gains, dude. You're stacking on kgs of muscle. Look at that chest.
You're pumping, aren't you, bro?
You look like The Rock.
Look, I'm bouncing a bit of rubber, but I'm not stacking on weight.
But you're bouncing rubber.
Rubber has been bounced over last week.
No doubt.
You don't reckon you've thickened?
Look, I may have thickened slightly, but I still need to lose a lot of padding. There's a lot of padding that
Maybe
needs to be
just
lost.
water weight. I think that's all it is.
No. It's padding. It's
Get you in the
good
sauna,
old-fashioned
mate.
padding.
You come out bloody
Six-pack.
six-pack cut to death.
But as I said, one of the boys' tees next Monday, 6 p.m. There's a limited amount of tees, guys. So this lot can sell out. So set your alarms. Monday, 6 p.m. One of the boys' tees. They come in black. They come in this tan color that we've never done before. So unique color.
It's a very
they
nice
come in
colour.
white and yellow, and they come in brown, our classic brown color. So make sure to be there, guys. Exciting times. That's me and the Finchman. It's the official shirt of the Me and the Finchman's podcast on Mondays. Also, the stores that we have on Spotlight this week.
Here we go.
Corkscrew. You rattled me then because I was about to speak and then you said something. Corkscrew Sellers, all stores. Kingswood Park Sellers, Camperdown Sellers, Bronte, Troy's Liquor, The Oaks, Duncan's West Brunswick Sellers, Victoria, Mona Sellers Drive-Thrus, all stores, Victoria, Lilydale Sellers, Victoria, Criterion Hotel Dolby, Shearer's Arms Tavern Gold Coast, Landsborough Hotel, Woombai, is that right? Woombai?
I think Wombai's all right. I'll go with Wombai.
Woombai Pub, Gundi Hotel, Innisfail,
Nice,
there it is.
bruh.
Super Express Florey, Canberra. Boom! There it is, boys and girls.
Nailed it.
How long did you...
Nah, first read.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
bullshit.
First
Matty,
week.
when did you
Yeah.
send them to him last week?
Nah, I'm a big game player. When the lights are on, I deliver.
Well, look, mate, 7 days. That's,
That's good.
That's impressive
That's
for 7
like when
days
you're
work.
at primary school and you have like a spelling test coming up and you got these words you got to remember and it's like, all right, I got to fucking get these things.
I've got to nail this. Yeah, you've nailed it. Credit to you.
Yeah.
Credit where
I
credit's due.
didn't study that.
Yeah, so we don't believe you.
Is that
That's the difference.
Is that the greatest wool pull of all time when you were at school and it was like considered cool to not study? And if you got a good mark and didn't study, you're the cool guy?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was to deflect how you felt. Like, I don't care about this test. I haven't studied. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit. But you do fucking care, and you're a nervous wreck.
Really?
And you're up all night.
I did study, but I didn't really study. But it wasn't like I still did well. The results reflected the fact that I didn't study. You know
The
what I
most
mean?
annoying was when there was a really smart kid who you knew studied, and they're like, "I haven't studied." You're
That
like,
pisses me off.
That's the most annoying fucking part.
100%.
My
You
sister was
motherfucker are the smartest in the class.
My sister was like a fucking genius and she studied her ass off. Well, maybe more just like studied her ass off than a genius, but like worked really hard. But then would be the most stressed person in the world going to fucking... I'm like, bruh, you've been studying. You haven't slept for like 8 days. Like, you're going to be fine. Those people annoy me as well. It's like, just relax.
See, I can respect that though. because they're trying to put in the hard yards. What pissed me off, because I was a person that genuinely didn't study, and then the guy that was studying all the time, I felt like we're not on the even playing field here. Like, don't try and staunch me with you're not studying when we all know you're not studying. When I'm really not studying. Honestly, I don't think I did. I think there was like one maths test that I studied for, and outside of that, I swear to God, I did no homework.
And was that because you were just all eggs in sport basket?
No, I just fucking didn't care. Didn't care. Like, I was just like, fuck it. Like, I guess.
Did you finish school?
Yes. We've got to. Holy shit.
You might not have finished school.
Did I finish school?
Well, some people finish in year 10.
Did I finish school? Do I look like a guy that didn't finish school?
There's no look to anyone that looks like...
Holy shit.
I mean,
that is so stereotype.
What do you mean stereotype?
I'm offended.
What are you talking about?
That is outrageous.
Eddie was
Did you finish?
Holy, I cannot believe that.
I think he's more angling like,
you can't read very
this little
well.
rural kid who's from fucking
from the country.
Nowhere,
what, you think out of the country we've got no schools or something?
No, I just think that, like your reading is not at the year 12 level, so I thought maybe you might have wrapped it early and gone into a trade or something.
That's crazy. That is crazy that you just assumed that I hadn't finished school.
Mainly because of how talented you were. I thought maybe you just went straight into sort of the
I went to university straight out of school.
You went to uni?
Yes, I did.
Where'd you
Now
study?
that I don't believe.
Bachelor of Marketing.
Oh, really? Did you finish?
Nah, because I was made the NRL squad, so I was like, fuck
that.
I went to like fucking a few weeks. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Got out of there. So, but yeah, I'm offended, and it's look, it's good to know what you really think about me,
mate. You were saying that you didn't study, and we all see you can't read. So I thought that maybe you just didn't finish.
So the fact that you think that because I'm poor at reading that there aren't other subjects I could be good at is alarming.
Because you were saying you didn't care. So I'm thinking, all right, he doesn't care. So like, and again, you were a talented, prodigious.
Would you assume Matty
star.
didn't finish school?
Well, I haven't had any conversations with him around his schooling, and I haven't.
You can make that assumption pretty comfortably. Yeah.
I wouldn't assume that. It's disappointing. Tom, it's disappointing.
Did you finish?
It's disappointing. I literally just told you that I went to university. So you're not even listening to me. You don't even show me the respect of listening to me as a human being. I've been so dehumanized to you that fucking who cares about Dennett? Unbelievable. Wow. Did I finish school?
I don't think he's going to forget this one.
No, I don't think either.
No, I don't think I'm going to forget either. Actually, you know what? I probably will because I'm such dumb, cunt. I'm so dumb.
Yeah, you might.
How did I get to where I was? I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, well, I think natural talent. That's how you've done it.
How did this all come about?
Natural
Click my fingers
talent.
and it happened.
Natural, hard work, graft. And a fifth grade reading.
Sorry, we can't all go to fucking rich private schools like you. Jesus.
Well, look, I mean, I appreciate you apologising, but
Wow, I mean, I tell you what, from above they throw shit down on you. The higher echelons of class in society, us country lads, they just get shit thrown on us.
Country lads. Firstly, we know that's not true. Secondly, you're actually technically higher than both of us now, so now you're shitting back on us.
But I didn't say make any kind of assumptions about your intelligence.
You said you didn't try, so I thought you didn't.
How's that connected to intelligence and committed? Like
finishing school isn't about intelligence.
There'd be a degree of like having the intelligence to finish school.
But also because some people might be like, I want to go. I know what I want to do. Like I want to go into a trade, or as a prodigious young soccer player, AFL star, NRL star, rugby union star, UFC fighter, spelling bee champion. Like, some people, you might be like, listen, I don't need to do the final 2 years of school. I'm just going to go and rip and chase my dreams. Especially when you outlined just before that you didn't study. So I merely thought, as a question, just to try and get to know him a little better.
No, I know where you were coming from.
We sit here and he doesn't share that much with us. We bare our souls.
We do.
We bare our souls week after week, and I just wanted to know. And now you've taken offence.
I'm surprised that that you would make that assumption, especially when such a small percentage of people don't finish school.
But it wasn't an assumption. I asked the question.
At least we know where your prejudice lies.
What percentage do you reckon it is?
It'd be small. I reckon about 10%. You reckon?
Don't finish school.
Don't finish school. I reckon about 10%.
Yeah, maybe a fraction higher.
I don't know. I haven't even thought about it.
Like in our grade,
early for trades.
In our grade, there's probably maybe 5 that left for trades, but we weren't that big of a school though, so it would be hard to tell.
I don't remember anyone leaving from. But again, it's a long time ago.
Shitloads. Like half the year.
Honestly,
some of those traders that did leave early though, fucking cashed up now.
Bro, they kill it.
There's
no fucking shame in the tradie game. I was merely asking a question. And obviously you've blown up because I've struck a nerve. But,
Well, I mean, the assumption that
maybe need to have it out, boys.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tommy wants that.
The pads. No, I'm not fighting. Fuck no.
Have you seen him work a pad?
Yeah,
mate?
I have, actually, that is a scary sight. Did you finish school? Because most athletes are fucking idiots, so I just thought, and you're an athlete, obviously.
No, but I did finish school. I did, but mainly because I didn't have a choice. My parents forced me. So I also went to uni and I finished. Sorry, Denon.
What'd you do at uni?
Communications, commercial radio.
Really?
Took you a while.
Yeah.
How many years?
It took me 5 years for a 3-year degree.
2.5 years.
2.5, yeah. It's 5 years to 2.5 year degree.
A 2.5 year degree
Yeah.
took you 5 years, but you do it like, did you defer?
Oh,
or
I just fucked around. I failed a lot of subjects.
is it hard to fail? Like, is it? It's
It's if you had to pick the easiest uni of all time to attend.
That's it.
Yeah, certainly when we were going. And then we would live together and we all started at the same time.
You
He
get out of
finished.
assessments by being like, oh, sorry, like I'm not going to get this finished.
I
in
got
time.
done
and they'd be like, oh, don't worry.
I got done for a full plagiarism. It was an accident. I did always plagiarize, but I would usually do well enough to like mask it because they didn't have Turnitin where you'd put it through the system. I accidentally turned in a 100% plagiarized thing, and the lecturer called me. He's like, "Bruh, this is 100% not you." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You completely plagiarized." I'm like, "Did I?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You've got 2 days to give me a new one, and I'll pass you." And I'm like, "Oh, sick."
I once we had creative writing first year. I'd forgotten about it, and then I got Streets, a friend of ours, and turned his in. And then when I got the result, like my mark back, it was like very interesting story, and I was like, I didn't even read it, and I read it, and it was about having sex on ecstasy.
He would have thought this guy's a creative genius.
Oh my God.
He calls your parents. I think your son.
Yeah, he's into some weird shit.
something going on there.
Yeah,
Man,
I thought you'd just like to know that a quarter of people drop out of school
There you
in
go.
Australia.
There you
Quarter.
go.
Wow, that's high.
So, but it's 90% in like the wealthier private schools stay in school, and then obviously it's about 60%.
So in the wealthiest states, that's his like echelon of people. What about in the real people?
That's about ranges from about 60 to 70.
So the fact that you
So
you very well could
70.
have dropped out.
You're still assuming I'm in the bottom percentage.
You
No,
just
no, no,
said
no.
that. You were like, "What about my people?" Is how you said it. You're the one being divisive here. I was just.
I
was
think
just
I think we
asking-
can. I think we can all deduce that the underlying prejudice is there. I think that it was pretty. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't use those words. 'Cause I'm a fucking idiot.
Well, it was a big
Should
word.
I use those words?
It was a big word. Everyone watching gasped.
Oh yeah, great start. Anyway, boys, after the weekend, how are you feeling about
How do you
your
think I
chances?
feel?
Yeah. Good.
Like, take a wild guess.
How do you feel?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's just like it's an adrenaline rush. Testy pop. Sorry, everyone. It's an adrenaline rush where you just like, this is it. Is it over? Is it over? No, it's not. Like, and now we're in a prelim. We're one game away from the grand final. It's a very winnable game, and it's just like,
Winnable.
I haven't had this feeling for a while.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's you forget about the feeling you have when you think your team's really close to winning the comp.
Yeah.
And now it's come back, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a
it?
great feeling.
It's a
Yeah.
nice
But it's like
familiar
it's
feeling.
nerve wracking.
Yeah, because you just.
But it's now fucking achievable.
Can you imagine if you're
It
in
is
the
very
grand
achievable.
final, especially like the depths of hell you were lingering in at the start? of the
Pure
year.
hell.
You've clawed your way out.
dude. Like
Step
that
by
guy in
step.
27 hours who like had to chop his arm off to survive. That's sort of how we did.
You almost had to chop your dicks off.
We almost had to chop our cocks off. Luckily, we didn't. But
Well, Tommy,
Would you
listen
chop
up.
your cock off for the boys to get a grand final win?
I definitely wouldn't. But I'd certainly spend some time thinking
Chop your
about it.
cock off.
No.
But
No,
I'd
I
think
would.
about it.
I'd do it.
You definitely would
No, you
need
wouldn't.
to though. Like
Yeah,
that's
I'd
the
do
only
it.
way the Broncos would fucking win one.
Just if they want to ring me and say
Game of Thrones didn't sell it to me. Put it that way.
No, they didn't.
You know?
he had a bit of redemption though. Spoiler alert.
Nah,
Reek comes back.
he was an empty soul.
He was never the same after having that thing chopped off.
Do you think it was the dick chop off or the torture that got him to that point? And for everyone listening, he gets captured. The dude cuts his dick off and then he goes with a sausage.
Theon Greyjoy, I believe, is his name.
He was not enjoying the torture, obviously.
Yeah,
but it was the removing of the
piece.
Member.
the member. That's what tipped him over.
Yeah.
Because then, like the scenes after that, he's like shaving his neck and shit, and he doesn't care. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't come back from a removed hog.
And I don't want to be a shell of myself
Okay.
watching Manly win.
No.
What about if you get to watch him win, then you got to chop your cock off?
No. Listen, we need to move this on. No.
Let us know in the comments section. Would you chop your cock off
for your team to win the
for your
comp?
team to win the comp?
We
I
can
think we'd
guarantee
surprise.
that there'd be
I
a few
wouldn't
bottom
need
eight
to
teams.
because we'll win anyway.
Yeah,
If
that's
you went
the
for
thing.
Parramatta or West or something, you'd probably have to think
Broncos.
about it.
Yeah.
Look, to be fair, I think Parramatta have crawled their way out of the I guess the level of disrespect you show them each week. You know what I mean? They did put up a good showing. They got closer.
You're mistaking our disrespect. It's not disrespect at all. We've said they've got a good side, and a lot of their players I really fucking enjoy watching. All we're saying, and it's pretty simple, I think, is that Parramatta can't win the comp.
Yeah.
They
That's
can
what
have
we've
a
been saying.
crack.
Okay.
They can't.
But
win it.
did they earn let's say at the start of the year they were here. Has their efforts pushed them further towards?
I respect sides that have a fucking crack and win footy games.
Has their crack been any
respect's
better
the
than
wrong word.
last year?
I apologise. Respect's the wrong word. But here is they're never going to win a premiership until the sun explodes. Have they moved away from that statement?
No. That statement is
It's
true.
fixed.
It's as true today as it was yesterday. or
It's
the day
fixed.
before.
It's fixed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just a reality.
It's
a
just a
fixed
reality.
statement.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
But they did all right to almost win against the Panthers, which I know for a lot of lot of Eels fans in our DMs, that was a pass mark. You better fucking talk up our team on the podcast. We almost won. I'm like, all right.
Were they robbed or not?
I feel sorry for them. I was going for
I
them.
don't think they were robbed. I think they let it slip. They had opportunities to win
They
it.
also had some fucking horseshit calls go against them. It was a shit show. And
But were they robbed?
No, they weren't
When
robbed.
they had attacking opportunities and didn't
They weren't robbed.
take them?
And again, no disrespect to Ray Stone, but he had a couple of unfortunate moments that certainly didn't help their situation.
And he brought so much oomph this year as well.
Dude, he's like, minister for oomph,
He might be the minister for oomph.
He sets the tempo in terms of oomph for that side.
but he can't pass a ball, which at hooker is
I
tough.
think he was just honestly fatigued. I don't know why they left him out there for that long.
That's what it would seem. Even the commentators
that's
were like,
what
where
we
the
were saying.
fuck's Will Smith?
Yeah. And if you got Will
you
Smith
know, like,
sitting on your bench.
if you're seeing Big Ray not throwing the most, delicious of seeds deep in the game and it was costing them, like, surely there should have been some thought around replacing it.
After his third fuck up.
even the second one I probably
I
would have
know,
thought about
right?
it.
But like,
Because it's pure fatigue. He could make those passes. We all know that. What is surprising is you've got we talk about happy endings and great endings to journeys, and you've literally got Will Smith on the bench, who is the king of a happy ending, the king of great journeys with good results at the end, pursuit of happiness.
it's a good point, and it just seemed like Brad deer in the headlights.
Well, that's an omen, is it not? Why wasn't Brad Arthur in the fucking box going, hang on a sec, I've got Will Smith, pursuit of happiness, gets the job, wins the
Happy
game,
ending.
get him on the field.
Pursuit of Happiness is one of the great movies. Now, I will say this before we move on. If you aren't moved to tears at the end of that film, then you may not be human.
Maybe Brad Arthur wasn't, and that's why he didn't get the
He
omen.
didn't get it. I almost cried last night watching TV, by the way. It just reminded me.
What did you nearly cry?
It's one of the worst shows on TV, but I do sometimes happen across it. It was on after SAS. It's some like Lone Star fucking firefighter show on Channel 7.
What the hell?
Never heard of
And
it in my life.
Never.
No, you wouldn't have. No one would have. But you would have maybe like happened across it. Anyway, it's got Rob Lowe in it, and there was just a scene at the end in the hospital, and some kid's about to die, but then he does, and he comes back to life, and I'm standing there about to go to bed, and I was like, "You can't cry to Lone Star, not tonight." And I just had to turn it off and walk.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I cried in like Teenage Mums once, and Ella has never stopped giving me
Teen
shit.
Mums?
Yeah, Teen Mums.
holy
Yeah.
fuck.
I think I was bounced, but still. It happened.
Oh my God.
You know, back in the Foxtel days when you just cruise around? Teen Mums was
Teen
on.
Mums, I could see Teen Mums getting you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it
I
got
mean,
me good. But to your point, Brad Arthur not playing the trump card in Will Smith is shocking to me.
do you think that you guys as consultants could be omenry consultants and go in to say a Penrith, like Joey has gone in and worked with Moses, maybe you could work with Brad and say, look, you had a great omen. That was a clear omen. Will Smith, pursuit of happiness, gets the win. You didn't bring him on the field.
Yeah, look, we've thought about it, Dan, and we've definitely thought about offering up our services to NRL clubs. I personally, Eddie, obviously not having spoken to you specifically about this one, but I'd feel conflicted about helping Parramatta. Maybe a bit more as a review, go in and say, here are some omens you missed.
A season review.
A season review. Here's some omens you missed, and here's how you could potentially do better next time.
Look, yeah, we're certainly not gonna lend our services during a season in which Manly's still alive and thriving.
Yeah.
But, for the right price, Dan, and obviously I'd be prepared to sit down and cast my eye over the season and sort of, illuminate them as to, certain areas in which they can improve.
We have a price.
And just a gentle reminder that the sun's, running out of energy.
Yeah.
So Are you offended to a degree that West Tigers didn't include you there in that review?
They did. They tried to.
Yeah.
And we said you're beyond help.
Yeah. No omens helping this.
So you spotted no omens throughout the year.
Not for them.
Pasco was still talking. We just hung up.
Well, I mean, if there are clubs out there that are struggling to see the signs, Tom and Eddie and Tom of Hello Sport fame, they'll review your club. A club
Professors of omenry.
Professors of omenry. Do you have your doctorate?
Yes.
Yeah. You do?
Yep.
Yes.
Man, I remember
That's why we're professors.
But wouldn't you be a doctor?
That's a doctor.
Yeah.
But we've leveled up.
Yeah.
But the doctorate on the way to being a professor. You
call
can't be a
yourself-
professor without being a doctor.
Correct.
Man, I remember my dad, he got his doctorate, and that motherfucker just wrote for years in his study. Like, people don't understand how fucking hard those things are to get.
It's hard work.
Like, holy shit. But you know what? I'm a fucking idiot. I dropped out of school, so what would I know? What would I know?
You wouldn't be a doctor.
Oh,
that's for
I don't
sure.
know shit.
No.
Are you a doctor?
Are you a doctor?
My brother is.
There you go.
Have a great time.
Now, on to segment 1. West Tigers. Holy shit. Matter of fact, so have you guys seen the yarn about Pascal, discount Tedesco, was Gordon?
No, I saw the headline and
Okay.
unfortunately didn't.
I'll get you up to speed. So basically, sorry, people listening. Okay, so basically, Adrian Tripodina is a West Tigers sponsor. And so, in a nutshell, when he found out that Tedesco had signed with the Raiders, he went to the club and said, is he going? What can I do to try to get to keep him? Tigers said to him, it's about 50 grand a year that we need to keep him. Anyway, so he went away, didn't hear anything from the club. He ended up reneging, obviously, on the Raiders deal, stayed with the Tigers. Then the Tigers went to the sponsor, Tripodina, and said, have you got that 50K? And then the sponsor was like, well, is he staying already? And they were like, yes. He said, well, it was kind of, it hinged on him not staying. And that's how I was going to raise the money. He was go around and say, if we can get this together, he'll stay. So they're not going to give me the money if he's already going to stay. Anyway, so they got him back at the club. Then Justin Pascoe comes to the club after the old CEO, which was Grant Mayer, and basically they hear again that Tedesco's going to leave. Sponsor goes back to them and says, what do we need to do to keep him? And they say Pascoe apparently said that we can get Michael Gordon for a fraction of the price to do what Tedesco does. Wow. And so that was all released on a podcast recently. And the guy that actually that runs the podcast, he's also, I think he's just a tradie, but he's a human being, just so you know.
Well,
like,
you're
tradies are human
the
beings.
one that fucking referred to him as just a tradie. I was
Well, I actually have been a tradie.
So have I. I was an unskilled labourer. That's even lower.
That's not a tradie.
Yeah, exactly. So I was the bottom of the barrel in the trading game.
I can't find it, but yeah. So he's a tradesman, and he's just a normal sponsor. And he messaged me. He's like, "Oh, bro, that's my podcast, the Westlife podcast, Josh and Rob." And he said he's like been getting absolutely annihilated, just like people ringing in that. And I was like, "Welcome to the media game." But anyway, so basically, yeah, Pascal said that he would get Gordon can do what Tedesco does for a fraction of the price, but then he didn't sign Gordon.
And lost Tedesco.
And lost Tedesco.
What's also crazy is that they essentially lost Tedesco twice. They lost him to the Raiders, and then he's like, "Oh fuck it, all right, I'll stick around." Did he backflip on the Raiders because they said they were going to get that extra 50 grand from Tripodina?
Well, that's what I don't understand. So did they say to him, "Oh, we've got this extra cash for you," but in saying that, leaving for 50K?
Yeah,
Like that's not really that much. I mean, maybe back then, actually, maybe he probably would have been on a much smaller contract then. So, okay, no, take that back. But yeah, to agree to it, but then not have it locked in, like, wouldn't you keep in contact with the sponsor and be like, "Hey, bro, you got that,
this
you got
is
that
what
cash?"
we're doing.
And is this a third party 50K?
So I think this would be the third party deal.
Yeah.
Get it together. And West Tigers don't actually have that many third party deals. I think Melbourne are number 1, Broncos number 2, or it could be the other way around.
I saw an article come out around third-party deals. I think it was printed last year. And Melbourne were number 1. And I thought at the time that you just look at all the teams and what they were sort of declaring, and like, I don't know shit, but it seems strange to me that the Roosters were basically the lowest on in terms of third-party deals, which I found interesting. And I just thought to myself, is Melbourne number one because they've just declared what it actually is because of their history, because of their past?
Yeah, they can't afford to.
They can't afford, you know what I mean? They're like, fuck it, let's just release what it is and we can move on.
Or is like Nick Politis just so what's the word? Like magnanimous? That like he can just, like, he's such a father figure to these boys that he can convince them, like, post footy, obviously I'm not going to, there's no, like, he's not going to throw money at them, but he'll guide their careers. Because, like, as you get older, you realise money isn't the important, it is the important thing, but it's not really in a career. It's who you know. You know what I mean? It's knowing the right people that's going to get you the money. Not
and it doesn't hurt knowing a billionaire.
Yeah.
It certainly doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. I don't know if it helps, but it doesn't hurt. He's a Billy.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
That's living.
Talk about, like, what it would feel like to, like, think about money. Like, think about how you go to the tap and you, like, just go, like, get your water and it just, that's your water. There it is. It's free. I've got water. That's what money is like to them. Like, they never think about it, you know?
No.
It's a bizarre, it would be weird. Don't you
They
think?
wouldn't think about it at the level of buying, you know, a car or fucking...
No, or...
It would just be like a utility to them.
You could go out for dinner and order whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. But it's that
Do
sort
you know
of...
what I mean? Imagine sitting down and going, oh, what's the best wine you have?
Yeah. Oh, is that $800 bottle of wine? Fuck it.
I tell you what, I went on holidays with my missus when we first met, and this is when I had, like, when me and my missus met, we were fucked, had no money, everything was just starting out, blah, blah, blah. We went over to Fiji, did the whole Fiji trip, like, on fucking barely any money. Anyway, so it was like the last night, it was a romantic dinner, in beautiful week, it was such a good week with the missus. We order the food, the guy comes over, and he's like, and both of me and my missus, we don't drink wine, like, I'm not a wine drinker. And he's like, "Hi, would you like this bottle of Verve?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." I'm like, fuck, couldn't be that much expensive. Got the bill. We literally nearly didn't have enough money to pay for, like, the hotel, everything. Like, everything. That's how much it was, like $350 for this bottle that we didn't even drink because it was tastes like shit. Not even wine drinkers, but I was just trying to celebrate the week with the new missus. And yeah, we had to end up paying, like, a bit of the bill when we like, as in the hotel bill, like, on credit card.
Isn't that the worst? When you fucking...
Because we didn't have enough cash to pay for everything, because that's, like, smacked our last bit that we thought we had to pay for.
That is so funny.
Good times, though. Good times.
You know what? You find a way, though.
You find a way.
That's what credit cards are for. Where you go, oh, whoops.
I used to, like, back at uni and shit, I used to fucking pay for things like half cash, half card. That was always tough.
Those uni days.
Like, can I put like $6 on this? And then, like, I've got like $3.50 in fucking coins you found in the car and shit. Well, just for me, it gets so grey when third-party deals don't count.
It is bizarre.
And some clubs and some towns have access, like a one-team town has access to way more third parties.
Well,
so
like
it's
the
an
Brisbane
advantage.
Broncos. You can be like, how is compare that to Sydney, where there's what, 8 teams, 9 teams.
Yeah, I don't see how it's
very strange.
It's super strange, because it's like, how is that fair? It's like a second salary cap that some clubs don't have access to because they're not big clubs. And, like, you know, Sydney, you've got what, 7 or 8 clubs fighting over.
And that's just
marketing
NRL
really.
teams. You're also fighting against fucking every other team.
Whereas
in the city.
Brisbane literally have the Lions, and for years there, the Lions struggled. And so, like, how is that fair? That it shows you, I guess, how much the Broncos truly have fallen. Like, for them to be at the bottom of the table with all of the salary, all of the third-party deals that they can do, plus being a one-club town, plus living expenses actually being way cheaper to live there than Sydney. They actually should be in the top 6 every single year, regardless, because they've got all the resources to do that and a history to do that. So, anyway, back to the Tigers. So that happened. That was released yesterday. So the day before, a story was basically released that Madge was gone, and then this gets released, and then there was going to be an emergency board meeting, and then that got cancelled. And then a Balmain Tigers legend, Gary Jack, said yesterday, obviously they are trying to protect their own backsides, because if anyone has to go, it's Justin Pascoe and Adam Hartigan. They're the two in charge of recruitment and retention. You can't blame the coach when you said halfway through the year he's doing a great job and you should re-sign him for another 2 years. They have to take a lot of responsibility for what has happened over the last few years. And then suggested on NL360 to get someone like Alistair Clarkson in, who is a 4-time premiership winning coach with Hawthorn. So AFL, obviously, that is.
Yeah, but they're not saying to coach the fucking Tigers, are they?
Not to coach, just to fucking...
get in there and yarn.
Yeah, would talk tactics and... we wouldn't talk tactics, more just like operations of everything. But yeah, so today obviously they've released that Michael Maguire will be staying. In addition, the club has also confirmed several structural and procedural changes which will take effect within the football department. These changes have the sole aim of ensuring the club continues to challenge itself in the way it operates in order to become a better performing organisation. Thoughts on the whole drama?
That is ambiguous as fuck.
That is just, I loved the
What the hell
business
does that
rhetoric.
mean?
Structural and procedural
business rhetoric.
changes. That's the sole aim of ensuring the club continues to challenge itself.
Let's put as many big words into one sentence, and it looks like we're doing our fucking job.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
That's just business jargon 101.
That's been jargoned within an inch of its life.
Oh, you can't jargon much more than that.
We're going to put several structural and procedural changes in. Okay.
What
like
are they?
What?
Yeah. Do you care to
Like
elaborate?
what? Okay, let's start with fucking the elephant in the room, recruitment. Who are you recruiting? Like,
and then it's just like, listen, these aren't conversations for today. We just wanted to announce that we're, despite everything that has been said in the media, we're going to keep Madge.
isn't there an obligation though?
I'll read you what he said. While we always understood this review and process would take time, this is Pascal speaking, it was a responsibility of the football committee to ensure all information was considered to make the right decisions for the club moving forward. Michael has been with the club over arguably its most challenging time with the COVID-19 pandemic, has overseen significant change both on and off the field throughout his tenure and on behalf of all West Tigers. I'd like to thank him for his efforts so far. We are firmly committed to building a high-performing club. With our strong financial position, increased investment and recent success of our Pathways teams, the new Centre of Excellence continue work on Southwest Academy, the arrival of Tim Sheen and his experience in the NRL systems, the club is posed to reap the rewards of several years of hard works. We believe that through Michael Maguire's vast experience and by continuing to challenge the way we operate, we will continue to drive through the high standards of behaviours needed to ensure we achieve our goals as a club. The move will also allow them to delve into the player market as well, because they've recommitted to Michael Maguire. But yeah, the jargon of like,
What the fuck did that mean?
Yeah.
That didn't mean anything.
No.
You know what I mean? Surely they've got an obligation to give some clarity to members around
What the fuck
what
is
the
going
review was, what systems are now in place, what procedural fucking elements are in place.
Maybe they've sent that out to the members. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Maybe they sent a letter out saying like a more detailed thing. But you're right. If they haven't, like if I'm a member and a diehard Tigers fan that has spent the last 20 years working my butt off so that I can pay for the club, as in like buy tickets, buy shirts, I want to see the plan. Like I want to see the plan. Like at least to a degree. Now, obviously, you don't want to give away all your secrets, but like. I mean, there's a lot you could talk about without giving away secrets, you know? I
also am not too concerned if I'm the Tigers that I've got secrets that people want. You know?
Yeah. But, like, for example, like, what I would like to see the Tigers do is, like, speak on the recruitment. Why have you got $1.6 million in your cap that you haven't spent yet?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
you're totally right.
But that's like, whether it's a fucking politician or a board member anywhere, the last thing they want to do is speak honestly about their shortcomings. They just want to be like, let's just wrap this up in some buzzword bullshit and then get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They love to talk when shit's going well. Oh, yeah, ask me again about my fucking how well we're doing financially.
But I just think it's gotten so far that I think the Tigers fans would appreciate a little bit of honesty of like, you know, our recruitment and retention last year, we made errors and we're going to fix that. One of the errors might be, you know what, we lowballed a lot of players thinking that we were trying to set standards of who we would come to. Because it seems like the reason why the recruitment struggled last year is A, I feel like they targeted the wrong players, but that's subjective, that's opinion, I could be totally wrong. But B, I think that they tried to take this like hardline approach of, you know, you've got to want to come to the club, but they're not in a position to take that hardline approach. Beggars can't be choosers, and that's no disrespect to them at the club. It's the same with the Broncos. I said the same thing when they lowballed Nico Hines. The Broncos were not in a position to lowball a player like Nico Hines. That we are not the Broncos of 10 years ago, and the Tigers, they're not the club of 15 years ago.
20.
And so, like, I think they need to take responsibility for not chasing Dale Finucane really hard. I think they need to take responsibility for the way the Tavita Pangai Jr. will happen. Like, we're interested, we're not interested. You know, they lost out on Latrell the year before. Who else they lost out on? I mean, Adam Reynolds came on the market.
Didn't they want to try and get Addo Carr back as well?
Addo Carr, he signed a thingo with them, apparently. And then, as I said the other week, how he went to the Origin camp. But even like a guy like Reynolds, like I didn't hear them
going after
Reynolds.
Sheer madness.
Which is like, if I'm then, the two biggest guys I would have gone after is Reynolds and Finucane. And Nico Hines, probably.
And Nico, yeah. Knowing nothing about rugby league backrooms, if you are doing well financially, like, can you go out and buy a weapon recruitment officer?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, that was the thing. Like,
do you know what I mean? Who goes, listen, mate, Nico Hines, not someone you should be ignoring.
I think Des has Noel Cleal. And Noel Cleal apparently is just like he brought on like fucking a bunch of players when Manly had their early run. Then he went with Des to the Bulldogs and they fucking went and started humming. And then it's come back to Manly and there's been success. Like, if you have one, you hold on to them, you would assume.
But like, if you're doing well financially, you could pay overs for one, right?
100%. No, you've, in my opinion, you've hit the nail on the head. Look at like the Titans, for example. They brought in big dog Mal Meninga. They're not even close to the same club before he came. Like when he came, they were nearly getting, like not nearly, but there were questions around, can they even survive as a club? Now they're the best Queensland club. And that's all, not all in the back of Mal Meninga, but when you're a club like the Tigers, Tim Sheens is a really good to bring him back. But you go and get a big name like Gus Gould or whatever, because they can attract players. Like Gus Gould for the Warriors, how many players did he probably get for them over the last whatever? Look at the Bulldogs. They've gone out and got Gus Gould, because him going into a meeting room and trying to recruit, it's way better than, Michael Maguire and the CEO, So you're totally right. They needed to go into the market. And Tim Sheens may be that guy. So, if Tim Sheens is the guy, Tim Sheens is the guy. But he has been out of the game for quite a while. So as in, to my understanding, the NRL. And also his position seems vague. 1 week it's director, and then, or maybe I'm just reading the articles wrong, but
it just seems to me that if you, at least what was released to the media, you didn't go for Nico Hines, you didn't go for Adam Reynolds, you fucked around with Finucane. I'm like, well, who the fuck's in charge of this thing?
Yeah. Shit
show.
Yeah, it's surprising, but I think it's always good to see a bloke not lose his job. So fuck it. And Michael Maguire, he has a red hot dig. You know what I mean? He's going to work his ass off. So hopefully they can bounce back.
Like, you can obviously make the argument that he should lose his job, but ultimately it's like the club's fucking sacked that many coaches, and it seems to be their default, like, fucking emergency eject button, like fucking when in doubt, just sack the coach. Like, maybe this is finally them making a smart decision.
And it doesn't work historically unless you're bringing in a Wayne Bennett or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
So hopefully the Tigers can turn it around, because it's been a tough. What is another thing as well is like all of this, like this information getting leaked. There's clearly two opposing sides in that club.
Yes.
One's pro-Madge, one's anti-Madge. You know what I mean?
Is it both sides of the board?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But
Wes and Balmain.
When you see all of this shit getting leaked from opposite sides, Madge is the problem. He's getting sacked. No, the CEO's the problem. It's like, fuck me dead.
What's Paul Green doing?
That's what I was about to say. Former Origin coach Paul Green.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's thrown a fucking spanner in the works.
Fucking hell, he's put his fucking balls on the line.
Well, you cast an eye around the league.
This is what I was saying.
Now
is Paul just going, I'm just going to cool the jets, sun my dick until a coach gets fucking sacked next year, which they probably, invariably, someone gets sacked, and then slide into the DMs. You up?
Well, I mean, you'd rather go into a coaching role with a son dick than not a son dick.
Yeah. 10 dicks win prems.
Oh.
Well, that's what he's waiting for. He's waiting for, an 0-10 start.
Yeah. And then he comes in with a cock that's bronze beyond belief after a nice hot Australian summer.
I mean, I've never seen a coach win a premiership without a bronze cock.
Well, he just knows that when you get in there to present your PowerPoint and you've got a bronze penis, you're already at the fucking top of the list.
Correct.
Now all you have to do is rip and tear with your PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Make sure you got as many star wipes in there as possible. But you go in there.
Bronze cock, tick. Now let's see your PowerPoint.
And see your PowerPoint.
Yeah, it's almost like...
in times gone by, they wouldn't let you into the room without
a bronze
cock.
rod. And they can also tell when you've just fucking put a bit of fake tan on there.
Oh, that's it. That's when you basically get blackballed.
That's it. It's like, oh, sorry, that looks like a carrot. Get out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's uncouth.
I know sun-bronzed cock when I see it, all right? Don't take me for a fool. I've been doing this for a little longer than you have, Paul Green.
Yeah, I've seen a few more winners. Or summers, as it were.
Yeah. Get out, get it bronze, come back to me when it's nice and golden.
Anyone that can walk into a meeting with his cock out, I think deserves a job.
Well, he deserves a look in.
As long as it's bronzed. If it's not bronzed, I don't want to know about it. And naturally bronzed.
Yeah, I mean, the fake tan is really... How devastated would you be as a person, a girl or a male, female or male, a person with a naturally good tan has been robbed of that uniqueness over the last 10 to 15 years due to fake tan?
They have, but the fake tan, pretty obvious.
You reckon? I reckon there's some good shit out there these days.
Depends.
It depends. It's certainly improved. Like my missus, I've fake tanned her before. And I'm like, obviously in the initial stages, I'm like, this looks ridiculous, but it eventually does. The giveaway is like on the hands.
There's telltale signs. It can get a little streaky.
Yes.
In places, usually around joints.
Yes, exactly.
I think you'll find it can get a little
friction
streaky.
areas.
That's right. High friction areas, a streak may develop.
Creases.
Thoughts on blokes wearing fake tan?
I would say to them,
I'd advise against it.
I'd just go, listen, give us an insight. Give us an insight into this. Because this is a bold choice.
It's a bold choice.
It's bold.
Because the next generation, it's kind of normal.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, like...
How many blokes do you know? How many mates have you got?
Next generation, mate. I'm talking...
I got one mate.
I've got
who does
one.
It. Yeah.
I have. I've got one mate that has.
Yes.
The next generation. I'm not talking about our, age group.
Like festival bros love it.
Like going out. Like the blokes will wear it just going out.
That's wild. That's
like
wild.
And I'm not even like G'ing up here. It's the younger generation are way more comfortable wearing it, which is cool. I don't like do what you do.
Live your life.
Live your life. I don't care.
But they're also, I'm always shocked by like the next generation. Like they seem like they're more that way inclined, just appearance wise. Like obviously, I think I cared how I looked as like in high school and shit. But like even my like nephews and stuff, like they were fucking jacked. Like, they were just jacked with six packs, and that's like all they did was just exercise and get jacked like the whole of high school. I'm like, is this what you guys fucking do?
Yeah.
But there's always been guys that get jacked.
Not
like,
really.
That's their thing.
Yes.
There was like one guy.
I feel like it's more now.
There was like one
TikTok
guy.
gym.
You reckon? Yeah.
When I was growing up, we didn't even have a gym.
It's hard to tell.
Like, we didn't even go to the gym. We had this like...
That's it as well a bit more, right?
Whereas like
what about at school?
We had a gym, but we didn't really play footy seriously, but the footy players did gym, but it wasn't culturally like a part of like your pastime to all boys, let's go to the gym, fuck yeah, you're looking mad and all that kind of shit.
You went to the gym, that's it. The only time you went to the gym is if it was footy or like sports related, right?
Yeah,
like you were doing fucking rowing, like that was what the gym was for.
A second of it.
But like it was never like, bruh,
rowing,
you want to fucking hit the gym?
Well, like I hated the gym. I've just never been a gym guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm thinking of getting an assault bike for my house.
You should get one
assault
of those
bikes are nasty, bro.
You should get one of those bikes with the VR, not the VR, but where you like race people online and shit.
I've seen the Pelotons or whatever they are.
Yeah, you should get one of them and film it.
Well, look, I don't try.
You
I don't
bike
want to race
guy?
someone.
Would you ever get the Leica on?
No, I'm not a bike
I
guy.
reckon you'd get the Lycra on.
No, because
you look good.
I like the idea
Those
of
hips
just
don't
having
lie.
something. No, they don't, and they'd look good in Lycra. But I think someone might be like, is that?
You'd be a presence on the road.
Well, that guy has childbearing hips, and I don't know what to do about it. So I'd prefer to just keep it on an assault bike in the house. You know?
You'd need your own lane.
Have you seen the Dave Goggins yarn about the Peloton? Is it called Peloton? Is that called?
The Peloton's a bike. The assault bike's the one with like the arms that move.
But
as well.
the Peloton's what we're talking about. The bike.
Yeah.
They would race people. Have you seen the Dave Goggins video about him? Okay,
No.
I'll have to get it up and we'll put it in.
Dave
the video.
Goggins is a motherfucker.
He is a motherfucker. You see those videos, like, again, in my feeble attempt to sort of get fit, like, I'll go for a run, I get shin splints, shit like that, where it's like, for me, I'm like, I'm tapping, I'm not running. My shins are fucked. And then you see like these videos of him where it's like he's getting blood drained out of his knees because they're swelling so badly. And then once they're drained, he's back on the road. And you're like,
he can get you up and about.
He can get you up.
He can get you up and about. If you're feeling a bit flat
or like not motivated.
Yeah, put Dave on. Dave will get you up and about.
He'll either get you up and about or he'll make you feel bad about yourself because it won't get you up and about. You'll see it and you'll still be committed to doing fuck all, which has also happened.
Right.
Well, you got to, I mean, don't watch him bounce.
Don't try and get motivated when you're hungover.
No.
So this is Goggins special.
This is my third workout of the day, so it's supposed to be a cool down workout. But this cat wanted to start racing somebody, so he started racing me. He didn't know who the fuck he was racing. He didn't know it was me. I'm under an when they think it's me or somebody else who they want to chase. They got a carrot in front of them. He had no carrot. It was him versus him. I'm under some fucking initials. He want to test my resolve. He want to test my ability to go to limit. He want to see where his world ends and mine begins. This ain't no fucking game. This is my motherfucking lifestyle, son. Hey, yeah, I'm fired up. This is what I do. When someone gives you hell, make sure you push them right back and give them hell. Stay hard.
Dave Goggins.
Stay hard.
Stay hard. I fucking
He just
love that
racing some poor cunt on the
shit.
thing.
He's like, mate, I don't think so. It's supposed to be a cool down. He's like, no.
Fuck that.
Fuck.
That guy's an animal. And you saw how big he was before he got in.
Yeah, yeah.
He was huge,
Mate,
dude.
his stuff is so fucking hilarious, but also like the message is good.
Yes.
But the intensity at which it's delivered and like the huge deals out of shit that doesn't really matter.
100%, like-
but it is so fucking good. I love
There's
it.
like a really great motivational element to it. There's like he's a funny character element to it. And then there is a like, cool, dude, you ran. Cool, you're racing some guy on Peloton. Like it sort of actually satisfies many
Yeah, it
different...
really is. Like it's a full circle of quality content.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
got good message. It's overboard. And
It's fun to listen to.
Oh, fucking oath. Do you reckon he takes a piss out of himself, or do you reckon he's at 10 all the time? Just fuck. Oh.
I think he's self-aware. I think I don't think you can be like that and not be self-aware.
Surely.
Like he's pretty successful. He writes books and shit. Like I think he knows that what he's doing to a degree. But I think he seems very genuine when he's doing that shit. I don't think he's like playing a character necessarily, but
Could you imagine like if he
Dials
is
it
like
up.
that like all the time?
it'd be very hard to do.
Oh my God, the energy levels needed to like.
Imagine who's your parent and he's that fucking. You're like, all right, Dad, fuck off.
Well, he
dude."
doesn't have days off. He's like,
Nah.
I think it's because he's where he's come from
Yeah.
that he doesn't want to go back there. Maybe
Yeah.
there's a part of that. I don't know. I'm putting words in his mouth, but like he's on all the fucking time.
Hey.
Whereas I'm like, I need a day off
It's
or a week
true.
off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's why you won't be shit.
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
Weak. I am weak, David Goggins.
that's,
Fuck.
yeah. Look,
Yeah.
okay, I
I'm
won't have a
weak.
six pack.
Do you want me
That's
to say
fine.
it? I'm
That's
weak.
fine. You know what? I'll survive.
Okay, Dally M Awards. I want to get your immediate thoughts. Thoughts on last night's episode of episode 1.
Perfect.
It was perfect, or that was perfect?
That was perfect.
That's with no disrespect either. It just wasn't great.
Yeah, I was sitting there going, is this it? We're watching highlight reels and getting them to talk about what they talk about every single weekend after a game.
Yeah, it was almost just like a weird, like NRL 360 or like one of those footy shows that they do, like just with a little bit more like glittery lighting.
And this is no knock on all the people that did it.
People that
they
did it
all
were
did
doing
all
their
their
fucking
job.
job.
Yeah, they did all their job perfectly. But the like whole concept of it all, yeah.
Well, we were saying yesterday, we're like, why has this been split over 2 nights?
That's the thing. It's like
I don't-
it wasn't
I don't
good
get
enough. It wasn't good enough.
Well,
to
there's not
split
enough
over
content. There's not enough content. They need more awards to have
But having more awards
Yeah, no.
cheapens the awards you're giving out.
No,
Yeah, 'cause
totally.
it's like, well, fucking everyone gets an award.
But also, every award was like, and it's the VB hardworking man in the room, and now we've got the Triton something. So it's like, okay, well, like if this is just purely a sponsorship, like corporate fisting operation, I get it, but like,
As a New South Welshman, you understand the corporate fisting.
mate, we bend over for the corporate dollar like it's going out of fashion.
Down in New South Wales, we're reared around that idea that if the corporate dollar comes a knocking, you go a bending.
Yeah, you open the door with pants down.
That's it. It's as simple as that. Now, it's been a lean couple of years for the NRL. I think that may give some insight into why they've gone down this path. Very lean couple of years, leaking money, and they're trying to make it up.
Surely there's better things.
I'm just
Yeah.
Well,
It just seemed like it was massively
Like
unnecessary.
even the tackle of the year, they showed one tackle. Like they didn't show 5 tackles
No,
comparing
yeah,
them
yeah,
and
yeah,
being
yeah.
like fucking hectic this that. It was like, oh, this is the win. Okay, yes,
Did
sweet.
people vote on it?
I don't think so. Or
Or
maybe
did
actually.
they decide?
What was the ratings like, Matt?
this is interesting. This is
So, according to the report that I saw on Twitter, and it looks legit, it got like 48,000 viewers, which on the night was less than NRL 360 itself.
So NRL 360 that same night got more viewers.
Yeah.
Holy moly! And so how much viewers did NRL 360 get?
I think it was like 67,000 compared to.
Now, if it wasn't about money, Did they give it enough thought?
I don't know. Maybe it was those
You know what I mean?
sponsors.
Did they spitball? How's this going to play out? Is there going to be enough interest in 2 Dally M nights? Is there enough interest in one
Is the second one
to justify a second?
And
you know
again,
what I mean?
like you said at the start, it's 100% no knock on the like hosts and the talent
100%.
doing it.
Yeah, no
but
way.
when Braith and
He's getting so much better at his presenting.
agreed. Braith and I can't remember the lady's name who he's with, and I do know her, but I just can't remember it. But when they're like in the big room at the lectern, sort of like you could hear how empty that room was and how
That vibe of Dally. Yeah.
it was just like it was this empty room that they were in, and then they were just throwing to those guys over there. It was just sort of like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
and they called
was
it
strange.
the cabinet. We were going to the Legends cabinet, like to try and make it sound a little more like prestigious. It's like
Yeah,
this
it
is the
was-
same fucking. This is Saturday NRL.
And what's the bad thing about it is it takes away from next. We don't get the excitement of like, and after round 15, these are the votes, and you're going, oh shit, such and such is catching up, and then at round 17, oh shit, like now we don't get that.
No.
There's 5 players where you can already like cross off probably 2 of them at least.
Probably cross off 3. It's
yeah,
probably,
like-
it's probably realistically
2
Cleary,
or 3.
Turbo.
Whereas like on the night,
Walker.
if DCE was making a run, that would be exciting because a lot of
Yes.
people didn't expect that. They'd be like, oh
Yes.
shit, like I thought Tommy would get all the points. Whereas now it's like okay, it's going to be Cleary or Tommy, like unless something crazy happens. Because now also we know the points. It's what Cleary 24
And Tommy
23, and then it's the closest is 17. Is it 17 or is it 21?
Walker was supposed to be on 20, but
He
he's
lost
on
3.
he's on
He's
17.
on 17, I think.
Why did he lose 3?
Suspension.
I hate that rule.
Same.
They've got like, okay, so Ben Hunt was on 18 but didn't make the top 5. I know he got injured, but still, it's the whole thing I don't understand. Roger Silva, so Cody Walker is on 17, DCE 17, and James Tedesco. So Cody Walker is literally what? For 7 points behind Nathan Cleary. Like for him to catch that up would be pretty hectic.
Is Nath back playing at the round we're at? Like, is he leading after being injured and coming back? Is that his score?
No, I think he comes back around 22 or actually, when does he come back, Matt?
I think I'll check, but I'm pretty sure that he has 4 games left, so he's a good chance.
Because I was like, I wasn't sure where round 19. I was like, that's the score at round 19. I'm like, is Nath playing, or is he just that's where Tommy's got to catching him?
Yeah, I wonder when he does return. Because if he's got 4 games left, of course he's going to win it.
Yeah.
Or him or
he'd be
Tommy,
fucking
yeah.
Close.
So Cleary played round 22, 23, 24, and 25.
So he was right, round 22 when he come back. So Tommy's basically got an extra 2 games, extra, 3?
But then Tommy has a game we didn't play.
Yeah, there's a bye, I think, and a fucking game where he's injured.
Okay, so the split into 2 nights, again, to be clear, no knock on the people that did the presenting. They all did their job really, really well. It's more just the concept that I was surprised at. We're all agreement on that.
Yep.
But what are your thoughts about the voting? Now, does it need to be tweaked? There's 2 reasons for this. So I put up a post up this morning. I was like, I understand why Jerome Hughes All the Cheese wasn't in the top 5, but I understand that they share points between other guns and and if you're in a really good team, you're going to have points stolen from other people. Whereas if you're in a team that relies solely on you, obviously you're going to get the points. But the system seems to, maybe, I could be wrong, not be working correctly if a team that has broken all sorts of records, like win streaks, like the most points ever, doesn't have a single player in the top 5. I feel like that's a sign where the system is not showing the top 5 players of the year. What are your guys' thoughts?
What would you be suggesting as an alternative that you got a rating for your performance in that game?
Yeah, so basically what I haven't really thought deeply into what's an alternative. So obviously someone's going to pick this all apart. 2 things. I thought what would really be good is every player that plays, they just get a rating out of 10 by a board of whatever, as long as that board is actually fucking watching the game. Because sometimes we've seen times where they've gone, oh, yep, that person, everyone's gone, what the hell? But someone actually messaged me the NBA system, and he was saying, okay, so this is the NBA system. Dally M, this is what Zane Lowe messaged me. Dally M should adopt something similar to the NBA on how they vote for the MVP. They have 100 credited media personalities. Obviously, we couldn't have that many. Cast 5 ranked votes 4 players. Each first place vote is worth 10 points. Each second place is worth 7. Third is worth 5. Fourth is worth 3. And fifth is worth 1. Winning the award is simple. The player with the highest point total wins the award. This way, votes are cast towards the end of the season are looked back as a culmination rather than individual games, etc. Yeah.
The problem I've heard with that is that it becomes more about narrative than performance. So like Russell Westbrook, he won like the MVP one year because he averaged a triple-double over the whole season. Did the exact same thing the next year. No one gave a fuck. Old narrative, who cares? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it can get a little bit like, what's the flavour this year? And you know what I mean? As opposed to pure performance, where like the Dally M voters at the moment are rugby league minds, are they not?
I think it's like refs, isn't it?
No. Well,
Oh, sorry, it's
at
players.
least as far as I'm aware, it's former players,
Yeah,
and they have
former
like an
players,
app,
sorry.
and then when they're watching the game,
I think
they
if you
just-
bring the media in, it can get a bit narrative-y.
Yeah.
Personally.
But even if you're an ex-player, you're still going to be, I guess, biased by the media. Like, I feel like sometimes players, if you're an ex-player and the hype man that's everyone's loving right now is Travojevic or Tedesco, you're going to be more inclined to watch. Do you know what I mean? To vote for them.
I think I think less so than
absolutely.
than media personalities who know less about the game.
Is
than
it just
ex-players.
basically though the difference being that you're just giving an opportunity for more players to poll scores in a game, or is it every player gets a score every game? Because then you've kind of got to go through and fucking be like,
that's tough.
yeah, I'm like, did I pay attention to how Aaron Shop played on the
Well,
weekend?
okay, let's say you spend 50 to 60K on paying people to do that job. You know what I mean? Like, would it be worth doing that? Because then you'd have a real, I guess, Dally M night where it's like fully specific. Like, it's like, for example, like, don't get me wrong, Whiten was fantastic last year, but Nathan Cleary was the best player last year, in my opinion. Whiten was, really, really good, but I just thought Cleary was probably the best, and he didn't win. And then you go to this year. I think even there was a year where Latrell Mitchell didn't win Centre of the Year and he was unbelievable. I think BJ Leilua didn't. Don't get me wrong, BJ Leilua has had some fantastic years, but I think it was like maybe 2018 or something, or 19. So I just, and here's another example. Justin Olam, apparently, now if Munster's got this wrong, then apologies, but Olam hasn't even been nominated for Centre of the Year. So there's hasn't even been given an invitation to the Dally M Nights.
Yeah, that seems weird. Would that be, is Centre of the Year and all of those decisions, are they still based on the Dally M voting system?
I don't think so. I think
that's sort of like just an opinion thing.
Yeah, I think so. Again, I could be wrong. Could you please Google that, Matt, whilst we're talking? But
See, I can't wrap my head around that. I find that more confusing than almost anything.
But you don't think that there should be at least if a record-breaking minor prems toweling teams up, that it's not strange that not a single Storm player is in the top 5?
It is a little strange, but you can have a team of great players that aren't necessarily the best player in the comp, any of them, but they're just a great team. It's like the system has seen the Storm players of the past win Dally M's, right? Cronk, Smith, Slater. So it's not that it's not rewarding individual brilliance. It's just sometimes you may not be the best player in the year if you have a great game, but then Munster has a great game, but then Nico Hines has a great game, and then Pappenhausen has a great game.
I think the reason why the guys like Smith and Cronk were able to do that was because they had these huge names, whereas this Storm side really hasn't had, other than Munster, hasn't had that many years to Hughes is only in his real second or third year. You know what I mean? So these big Cheese, he's only just this year become a starter, really.
Is it true that the last player to win the Dally M in the comp of the same year was Matt Orford?
2008 Matt Orford.
Isn't that a sign,
Well, it's an indication that, it's a sign
that you're better off.
Sides, it's harder to win it week in, week out because you're sharing the love a little bit.
Lockyer never won one.
I think that makes sense.
Fittler never. I don't think Fittler won. I read a comment, and D all this because it's just a comment, that GI has never even been in the top 10. D all that, guys. I don't know if that's do your own research on that.
He gets it fairly right, but it could get it more right. I'll go with that. Like this year, for example, Tommy and Cleary.
Absolutely.
They're the best players.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
What do you got there?
So the position of the ward is similar to the 3-2-1 vote. So every time a player polls 3-2-1 in the normal Dally M vote, that's counted to their tally. Plus, at the end of the year, each judge, I'm not sure how many judges there are, but each judge will add one vote for each positional award. So it's just kind of like a minor adjustment.
Add one vote.
That's what it says.
So like they 1 point.
Yeah, for each judge, for each position.
So you've got 1 point where it's like, all right, I've got 1 point to give out to a centre.
Yes.
Is what they probably all land on around the same numbers because they're all like if you're a centre and you probably only got like probably 5 votes over the year of like 5 games of 1 point.
Would that also be then a thing if they're doing it Dally M style with Olam where he's not polling votes in a team like the Storm because he's never the he might be in the top few players in the game, but he's probably not the best player in their team.
But isn't that evidence
time.
of a system being
Yeah,
wrong?
potentially. Because I think that is. I think that's a problem because you shouldn't necessarily be gauging the best player in their position based on the overall performance of a team. Like if he misses out on centre points because the 5'8" played well, like that doesn't seem to make sense.
Yep.
I don't think it would even be that hard either to get whoever's voting for Dally M points in any given game to give out their best back row on the field, their best centre on the field.
That could be
just
a way.
to even it out.
Yeah, that would be a way.
At the moment, you're absolutely right. Like Olam would rarely get Dally M points in that side.
Yep.
And so he's probably on fucking 1 or 2 points. And even if they give him, even if all the judges are giving him one, he's still not going to get up there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. But I don't think it's that hard to do. Would be that hard to do.
No, it's surely not.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what the answer is because I agree with your sentiment in the sense of like, you know, when you've got a good team, you just got a good team, and that's just the way it is. Like I totally understand that, but at the same when you've got guys like Lockie and I think Freddie
never won one.
that never won one, it's kind of like well, and GI even to an extent, like wasn't even apparently in the top 5. We'll say top 5. I think that's it. That there could be some tweaks. I don't mean just like blow the whole system up and fuck whatever. I like the idea of like meeting in the middle of like maybe we give more points. We do the top 5, you know, and that will give more for the better teams that get fight for the points. Gives them more chance to jag a 1, jag a 2.
Yep, I don't mind that.
Maybe a 5-point system. Top 5 players, and that way you can get your edge. You know, your really consistent guys that can get 2s every game or something.
Yeah.
And they can beat the guys that, maybe up and down.
But that's the thing because the Dally M it could be a very, usually it's not, like I'll watch it most years or I'll at least pay attention to it. It's got a lot of legs if it's done correctly, whether that's from making it so that people are more satisfied with how the Dally M is decided. But things like this with centres, like making it more obvious so people know how it's done, but then also like, you want to bring in all these fucking best try awards and shit. Like, that's cool. I'm down with all that sort of stuff. But, like, just make it a bit more of a thing. Spreading it over 2 nights seems to be, like, taking away massively from what it could have been.
It could, like, what I don't get is they should use the Dally M as the night to celebrate fucking rugby league. Like, we've spoken about it before, but, like, at the start of the year, I want to have, like, a footy festival. Like, I want to have where, like, the first Saturday or whatever, everyone gets together, drinks piss, watches the footy on the big screens. It's kind of like a festival. That's what, in my opinion, the Dally M should be, like a full-blown celebration of the year. Like, fucking, you've got music acts, you can buy tickets as punters and dribblers, you know what I mean? Like, you could even have it in, like, one of the smaller stadiums or something
Eddie
like
and
that.
I on the red carpet.
Yeah.
But, for example,
Welcome to Rugby
Dally
League's
M,
Night of Nights.
Not advice.
Dally M awards at Westbank, and then you could sell out the like part of the stadium. I reckon a lot, and then you have music acts like I don't know Guy Sebastian or something. Get Guy on there.
Look, I would suggest that Guy Sebastian maybe
Jessica Malboy
down the rung of
Jessica
options.
Malboy be there.
Well,
she can belt out a tune. I mean,
Jess
they both can.
sing. I'm happy with Jess.
And the reason why I say
Guy-
them because I've been watching The Voice with my missus, so that's the only reason I can feel I remember.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's
Maybe
So,
1-4.
look, I get it.
1-4 would actually be fucking mad. I
be
don't
mad.
know.
1-4. Yeah.
But like,
I'd give them the green light. Fucking oath. I love them.
It would go off.
it would, but they'd be like,
Lot
the
of
corporate types would be like, they
Clutch.
talking about stabbing people?
They're very popular.
They are very popular, and you know what? That's their art. So,
Dude, I'm down. I like 1-4.
I listen to them on my run. Pumps me up.
what are we going to say, Matt?
Just for a bit of context over the Dally M points, Olam after round 12 was only on 2.
There we go.
And then you've got Joey Manu, for example, who was on 7, or Gagai, who was on 4, and Burton, who was on 5.
But the shit thing is Manu would have probably won those points playing centre or fullback.
Yeah.
Wing or fullback.
And Burton might have
And
been
they lost Cattle.
5'8".
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like fuck. Like I do think it needs a looking at because for what you were just saying, there's a lot of legs in this night. Like, if you're at the end of the year and you could make it so, even if you made it part of the grand final week where it was on like a fucking Thursday or some shit, and people would come and watch, get on the fucking beers, you know, have like a Matty Johns show.
Mate, you could do a lot with it.
So much stuff with it.
Yeah. Night of nights.
Night of nights.
Night of nights. And the ticket sales, you could actually make money off it from the ticket sales.
Munster picked a good photo of Olam there as well. He looks fucking pissed off. He hasn't
does
been
look
picked.
pissed off.
He looks very upset.
It's like
I would be concerned as a Panthers player this weekend.
Coming up
I
against
feel like
Juzzy.
I feel like he goes in and makes a bit of a fucking statement. Like, how many people do you reckon that like love their rugby league and you polled them who was the best centre this year would say Olam? It'd have to be the majority.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he got voted by the people.
There you go. By
There
the
you
people,
go.
for the people.
Yeah.
There you go. People are never wrong.
Can you check that, please, Matt? I'm
People
pretty
are
sure
never wrong.
he got voted that. So, look, I don't know what the answer is because I get it. Like, I understand that, you know, good teams are always going to steal points from it. And then you make this massively complicated, system that just gets even fucking worse than whatever you have. But a little tweaking couldn't hurt, maybe, or even just a season review of the Dally M. What you got there?
Justin Olam, 34% was the clear winner.
And Manu was second.
Manu was second with 26.
What about Brad Parker and Morgan Harper?
They are not named on this particular
that's
list.
interesting.
That's ridiculous. Some does need
I thought
to
you said
change.
that people know.
Well, it feels like
They don't.
the fans' votes have been lost.
Yeah, we
what
need
I'm
a
suggesting.
recount. We need a
I'm
recount.
suggesting a recount.
Yes, a little tweaking maybe. But now a few of the other awards. Let us know in the comment section, actually, what adjustments, if any, that you would make to the voting system, or do you like it the way it is? Reuben Garrick obviously gets top point scorer, scoring the most points in a season ever. Do you think how much, like obviously a lot has to do with the speeding up of the game, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that affects records when, you know, quite a substantial change has been made and now he's broken a record in different circumstances to past players?
Like, I can see why people make that statement, but like Hasem he'd only just beat Hasem. Obviously, Hasem's an all-time great of the game.
And Hasem
like,
was pre-wrestle too, 2002, I think. So that was pre-wrestle. So it was like pretty much like today.
Right. So like, but you know, there are players, it's not like his point scoring is hundreds and hundreds of points ahead what anyone has got. It was, obviously it may have something to do with it, but he also scored a fuckload of tries this year and he was kicking the lights out.
And he was in a great side that scored a lot of rugby league tries. Like, it's not like, you know, in swimming where they basically had fucking dolphin suits on. You know what I mean? And they've left those records to stand, which is a disgrace. They should be reviewed. But in terms of like a rugby league season, 25 weeks against other teams that are, you know, ripping and tearing as well, like, it's impressive stuff. Yeah, if you were getting around in the wrestle era, it was going to be tough for you.
Yeah.
But
04. So that's still pre-wrestle.
Garrick also, I know we've spoken about it, but like he's also hot, so you just stands.
and he kicked the lights out. What percentage did he kick it this year?
100%, Eddie. He didn't miss one.
Wouldn't have been much lower.
No.
Wouldn't have been much lower.
Maybe
now,
9.94.
Dally M Coach of the Year nominees have been submitted. Bellamy, Cleary, Bennett, Robson, Hasler.
Big dog city there.
Who do you think will win Dally M Coach of the Year?
I think Des Hasler wins.
Okay.
And I think his resume is pretty obvious.
Well, he has.
We were coming dead last, and I've turned around this ship.
To be fair, he was also coming dead last.
Exactly, and turn around the ship, which shows integrity.
Yeah.
But he steered the ship into the storm.
Wow.
No. we were sailing. The storm hit. Holy shit! What the fuck?
Yeah.
Let's get.
Let me get us out of this.
Let me get us out of it.
Turn
Now,
left.
the only other.
So he had no control. Like, it would just hit you.
Well, the storm came out of nowhere. It
Have
wasn't.
you ever heard of that
forecast.
saying? Storm came out of nowhere.
I have it.
It's one of the oldest sayings in the sailing.
Do you honestly? Are you going to tell me you trust meteorologists?
I'm a country guy. I haven't been
He
sailing.
didn't finish school, so we know that.
Wow. He's gone back there.
Yeah, I've taken it back. If Des doesn't win it, obviously voter fraud. But if he doesn't, then I think Trent Robinson deserves it.
So do you think there's a big case of voter fraud in Dally M system right now?
I'm saying that we can't rule it out.
Okay.
If Brad Parker and Morgan Harper aren't in there for centres of the year, then we can't rule it out.
That's all he's saying.
Okay.
And all we're saying is, Storm's coming out of nowhere, and Hasler got us out of it. And credit to him, we're 1 win away from the grand final, and then 2 wins away from the comp. That's how fucking close we are to immortality.
Yeah.
That aside, Trent Robinson, I think, scrapping his way to, the semi-finals with a makeshift side was fucking impressive.
What about Bellamy? 19 in a row. Equaled the all-time record. Most points ever in a season. Lost Cameron Smith.
Yeah, but they've got
hot throw. Look, I think you could absolutely make that argument, but fuck the Storm. Like they've got lots of good players. They won it last year. Like you won it last year, so it's not the fact that you're still killing it a year later is meant to be like coaching masterclass. Again, I know that sounds disrespectful, Craig. I don't mean it to, but also I kind of am. Robinson, probably to me, it's like the best coaching job because his team was completely fucked. And if it's not him, or if it's not Des, it's him.
You can make arguments for those three. I think they lead the pack.
Yeah, Cleary and Bennett is no.
I mean, you could argue, if you looked at the roster Hasler had at the start of the year, you got Big Dick Tommy at the back, you got DC there. Foran his career was done. He was so injured, we didn't even know if he was going to start. There was arguments that Schuster was going to start. Outside of those two players.
And Jake, potentially.
And Jake as well. But then you look at the Roosters, even with all those injuries, they still had Tedesco, they still had Manu,
Hargraves.
They still had Hargraves. You could argue that the Roosters, with 50% of their salary cap less, on paper, is about the same, because Teddy is Tommy, you know what I mean? It's about the same as Manly was at the start of this year. Now, obviously, that Manly team has grown into something much bigger. But at the start of the year, a lot of those players were like, Brad Parker was a solid footy player. Morgan Harper couldn't really get a start. I think got it a little bit at last year, but this year is where he's really gone on to play some good footy. But I would probably give it to Robertson. But I'm just saying that you can make that argument.
No, I agree with that.
Hasler.
I agree with it as well in the context that when people were comparing Tommy, Hayne, Barber seasons, and people were like, Hayne fucking pulled this team of nobodies to the grand final, which he did. And but as you say, at the start of the year for Manly, these players were like, there was a large collection of nobodies in that sense, and they've all grown into these players that they were. But it's like, they weren't these players at the start of the season.
What did just come last year without Tommy? 14th or something?
Did we come 14th last year? I thought we were in the top 8. What? My memory's so far. I thought Olakau'atu debuted this year.
No,
and he played
the year
3
before
years ago.
last, we came 15th. That I do remember.
He came 13th last year.
13th.
Did we really?
So we were 15th into 13th.
No, 15th, then you came 6th, then 13th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right, mate.
Also,
Again,
small
Jesus
correction on
Christ.
before, and I should have checked this earlier, but Teddy won Dally M in 19 and Thurston won Dally M in 15.
Oh.
What
Where
was
did that stat come from?
What do you mean?
Because that was the Dally M premiership winner same year.
Oh, the same year.
Yeah, oh, sorry. So the last
okay.
ones to do it, it was Matt Orford when he did it, but
Yeah, then it was Thurston, then it was Teddy.
Tedesco.
Oh, that sounds cool.
so it's not as cool anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't realise Thurston did it in that year as well. Anyway,
That's
listen,
not, yeah, it's not as cool as all.
do we skew stats to fit our narrative? Better believe it.
That's why it's called Unwavering Boris.
Correct.
Also, we just say shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong.
That's it.
Mostly wrong.
Mostly wrong.
But we preface that at the start of every show. We don't know what we're talking about.
No.
Yeah, I reckon. I reckon you go probably Robson, just because fuck, they got decimated.
You'd give it to Robinson?
I'd give it to Robson. Yeah, I reckon with everything they.
Would you say that if Des was sitting right here?
Of course not. Of course not. He'd flog me.
Yeah.
Desi the madman. Now, accountability. Here we are, boys. Now this is Bloke in a bar's rules of accountability. I'm not sure what About Even does that fucking show, whatever it is.
The greatest betting show on earth.
Also, guys, make sure to make your bet on there. So you comment on About Even's YouTube, Hello Sports YouTube, or is it About Even?
Hello Sports YouTube channel, the About Even episode.
Make sure to comment your bet. They'll take the bet up, and whoever wins whoever loses sends the other person a case of beer. Most people that lose that aren't
Essentially, we don't get
yeah.
you to send us a case.
Yeah.
You're not in the hole for a case. It's more just if your bet gets up, we will give you a case.
We carry all the risk.
Yes.
So Roosters versus Manly, 42-6. Tom Trbojevic was man of the match. Tom had Manly 24-10, Jake Trbojevic. Eddie had Manly 30-16, Jason Sabb. Denon had Manly 18-10, Tom Trbojevic. I think you'd probably have to go. Look, I think that's just a win for me.
I think it's a win for me because Jake should have been man of the match. And if you watch that live stream, we were on his nuts the whole game.
No.
And then fucking younger
You
brother
don't get
Tom
to just
comes
go,
in,
he should have
flashing
been
his
man of the
cock
match.
and
I'm the
bloody-
closest to the score, and I had Jason Sabb who scored a try.
So your margin was what, 14 points? My margin's 8 and your margin's 14 points. So I think that kind of cancels it because his was 14 points as well.
Yeah, but
Whereas
I said
actually
Manly
got-
30 points.
You know what?
So I'm close to
How
the
about
score.
a half a point?
No. You get it.
You get half a
got man
point.
of the match.
You get half a point.
Thanks.
Okay.
I see what's going on here.
Look, I think that's a fair.
Jake gets
he got
fucking
closest.
robbed. I actually think Jake won man of the match. I don't know where the fuck you're getting those stats from.
Now, Panthers versus Eels. Isaiah Yeo, man of the match. Tom, Eels 26-10. Mitchell Moses, Eddie, Panthers 18-6. Nathan Cleary, man of the match. Denon, Panthers 28. 10 Eels. Matt Burton, man of the match. I don't think really. Well, not I don't think. None of us got there, I don't think.
What about
me?
What about
12
me?
points off.
What about
Nah.
me?
You're
Fucking
16 points
the
off.
Eels got robbed.
I think
And you lost.
I think 0.5 for you because you got the closest to the points.
This is
That's
the
1-1.
most ridiculous accountability.
You had
I've ever seen.
Eels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but I'm
literally
saying
Eels.
that they got robbed.
Yeah, you had the
acknowledge
Eels
that.
to win.
Yeah, because they should
And
have
I
won.
had the Panthers to win
They
18-6.
shoulda won.
I got the Eels score correct. And
That's true.
I forgot to add a 1. I forgot to remove the 1. I
Yeah.
basically got it.
Matter of fact, that probably was a typo from Matty.
That was a typo. Go back and
This
watch the
show
old footage.
has gone to the dogs.
So that's 0.5, 1-1 at the moment. So that's 1-1, and then I won last week. Or did you win last week?
I won last week.
So Eddie's ahead for the accountability
Yeah.
so
So
far.
I'm the best.
I think,
This
honestly, and this is no joke,
ridiculous
Tom
fucking
is still
records.
on 0 points.
I am on 0 points.
0. We've got nothing right.
But I do bring value. Head to About Even and watch.
Be better. Be better.
Well, no one's got anything right so far.
Except me.
Well, I got the man of the match as well.
Right, so we're breaking this up. Is it a full bet? Is it an individual bet?
Now, segment 4, Rugby Union, the Rugby Championship. Australia defeats South Africa 2 games in a row. South Africa obviously being the world champions, 30-17. Quade Cooper, talk about winding back the clock.
Yeah.
Thoughts on, did you get a chance to watch that game?
Yeah, I had it on in the background. Rugby league math dictates that now we've beaten the world champions back-to-back games. We are now technically world champions.
But doesn't mean, isn't it though, All Blacks beat us, therefore they're actually the world champions?
No, it's
No.
recency.
'Cause they haven't played the world champions.
Oh, okay.
champions. So we're the world. We leapfrog the All Blacks.
Okay.
We're world champions, which is just how it's done. It's not my. I didn't come up.
Well, you
with
didn't
it.
come
It's
up
just
with it,
how
Tom.
works.
You're just
No.
regurgitating what we know to be
What we
fact.
know to be true.
If you beat the world champions in back-to-back games, you take the mantle off them. Now,
Yeah.
people go, yeah, but New Zealand beat you. But we weren't world champions
When
New
they beat
Zealand
us.
beat us.
Oh, so
we
if
were
we-
fucking nobodies.
Okay.
We were like 6th in the world.
So we're world champions now. If we play All Blacks and they beat us, they get the crown.
They
then.
can take it off us.
Okay.
But I don't
But
know.
we don't play 'em
we
for
don't
like,
play
I don't
'em for
know,
ages.
12 months.
So sorry.
Also,
Whoops.
there was a guy who's a little bit upset in the comments last time because we were saying rugby union's dead. When we say rugby union's dead, we're talking about just in Australia.
Talking about the domestic product.
Yeah, just
Look
in Australia.
around.
We're not talking about New Zealand that's just clearly thriving and killing it, and around the world it's going really well as well.
But surely we don't need to explain that when we're talking about.
I don't know.
You know
There
what I
was
mean? That rugby union dribblers. Come on, be smarter.
Look, we've got to lay the platform because it's a new thing that we're talking about.
That's true.
So they're the T's and C's. They're the terms and conditions. When we say union's dead, or no, not even when we say it. When we joke about it, it's just about the Australian rugby scene because the Australian rugby scene, it's a tough.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? I hope it does revive.
Of course.
It's actually good, high quality union is really enjoyable to watch. High quality.
Best games of rugby union are equal to the best games of rugby league without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion. But we just don't, in the Super Rugby context. have a
Shoot
very
Shield's
good
better
show.
than Super Rugby,
Yep.
in my opinion.
It is.
Like
It's
to watch,
yeah.
it's great to watch.
Really?
Shoot Shield's
Yeah,
great
it's
to
great.
watch. Yeah.
New Zealand defeat Argentina 36-13. I didn't get a chance to watch this, but New Zealand doing what New Zealand do, just dominating.
Yep.
Now, you guys have brought this up before, and it is a very good, I think actually a dribbler called in ages ago, and they said, how do you think Australia would go if all of our best league players also played union? Like in New Zealand, union is their number one sport. Imagine if Australia, union was our number one sport. Do you think that, like, let's say, GIs, your
We
Thurston,
wouldn't get beaten.
We wouldn't have lost.
You reckon we'd smash All Blacks?
Smash the fuck out of the All Blacks. Whoa! I don't think that's even a doubt in my mind.
It's not a doubt in my mind at all.
No.
We used to beat the All Blacks, right? Without the best leagueies. The best leagueies, like it or lump it, walk into the Wallabies. Like mediocre leagueies walk into the Wallabies.
And that's, again,
That's a fact.
we're half Kiwi, so, sure. But, we speak the truth. And if we had fucking GI, Tommy, like if all these great rugby league players playing rugby union, we'd fucking annihilate them.
Now, I know that's going to trigger a lot of New Zealand fans that listen to this,
Kiwi
or
fans.
New Zealand bloke community. I hate saying fans, it's fucking weird. It's just community. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I don't know. So, New Zealand community that listens to this podcast that just got visibly upset, leave a comment, a respectful one, as to why you believe that All Blacks would still towel up or beat if Union was their number one.
I will say this: no one punches above their weight like the Kiwis.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
No
and
one.
cricket as well. Like,
Yeah, it's
we
true.
fucking know that.
Yeah,
we
that's
all
true.
know that. That's a fact of life. The Kiwis punch like no one else can. But facts are facts. We're a fuckload bigger. We love our rugby league and our rugby union. If we're only playing one of them, you're trying to tell me that we wouldn't be a fuckload better than we are now? Is that what you're trying to tell
the
me?
argument for that, though, is like, okay, so RTS wins Dally M, one of our best fullbacks that we've seen in a while. He doesn't walk into that All Black side.
no, he doesn't.
So that could be
Different
the argument.
games.
Yeah, but he's one of our best.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. But he's also like, he doesn't just walk into the greatest rugby union side in the world. He captains the Wallabies. Like, we're talking about the All Black side is fantastic. They're a fucking brilliant footy side. They've got all their best footballers playing rugby union for the most part. So like, if we didn't have our rugby league guys playing rugby league and they just spent their careers growing up playing rugby union.
Yeah, but
And that's the only game they knew.
But if he can't walk into that All Black side, then how could he beat? How could he beat them from the Wallaby side? Do you know what I mean? If he's not, the argument is that if he's not good enough to make that All Black side, but he's also one of our best fullbacks and challenge Tedesco.
Yeah.
If he was in that Wallaby side, how could he beat a team that he can't even get into?
Because we're sort of, well, in my mind, we're sort of coming from two different angles. If rugby league doesn't exist, then you come up playing rugby union. So it's like,
So he would walk into that side if he grew up playing it.
well, you could make the argument that he would. It's not that he necessarily definitely would.
Yep.
But you could make the argument. But like, I can understand that a player who's just come straight from rugby league into the All Blacks, who are the best fucking rugby union side ever, isn't just going to walk straight in. Even if he was good enough, like you're going to have to go and fucking play some Super Rugby and like.
Well, and to your point, if he was just if let's say everyone played Union, he probably actually wouldn't make fullback for the Australian side. It would be like Teddy. Or maybe Teddy. I'm not sure. There's a lot of people that think Roger's better than Teddy.
We're also saying as well, if our leagueies left league and went and played rugby union, how would they go? We're not saying that. We're saying if it was just rugby union, and they were reared on rugby union, and that's all we played.
They grew up playing it.
Yeah,
that was it.
So you reckon we wouldn't lose?
I think,
You might, like,
of course
obviously,
we would have
right.
lost one or two,
Yeah.
but
We would be the All
would we
Blacks.
have lost fucking 20 straight?
No, would we have not won a Bledisloe for 20 years?
So we'd be.
Fuck
Do
no.
you think we'd be like the All Blacks of that world?
Yeah, I think
I'm
we'd be
just-
the more dominant side.
Yeah, I think so.
Because All Blacks, they're pretty incredible.
They are incredible. They're fucking amazing.
They remind, like, I don't know whether it's Storm remind me of them or, vice versa, but they're pretty fucking amazing.
Well, okay, even if you don't agree with me and Tom, think about this. Think about the wars we would have had.
Yeah, exactly.
How good would it be?
Like, mate,
Yeah.
that would have been so sick.
That you're actually right. Could you imagine, like, our best Aussie side versus Kiwi side at a World Cup grand final or something? Oh my god!
Yeah.
Because that's one.
Greg
That's
Inglis fucking...
Oh,
I would have
wow.
loved to have seen Greg Inglis play rugby union.
Greg
Like,
Inglis at
he would
just
have
prime.
fucked people
He
up.
would have been so good.
Imagine Cam Smith just getting around.
Cam Smith at
So
9
smart.
would have
Yeah.
dominated.
So his kicking game.
He would have dominated. He would have ripped it apart.
That's
Kelly
one thing-
Slater at fullback. Thanks for coming, mate.
That's one thing that we can
Best
never
game reader ever.
really
Least in
compete.
league.
That's one thing we can't compete with Union is the world stage.
Yeah,
Like the World
exactly.
Cup is so good to watch.
Yeah.
In saying that, it was a dude that got sent off, I think, with a yellow card on the weekend, and I was going.
Yeah, that's the problem. They're very strict with the rules. Like,
Holy
going into
fuck.
rugby union, you basically have to expect that you're going to see some decisions that either frustrate you greatly or some decisions where you go, wait, what was that penalty? But like when the scrum goes down, it's like, oh, he fucking prop did it. You're like, how am I explaining that to someone who's never seen rugby before and they're just watching
But like, they're so, like, with the head highs and the contact above here and that, like, they're so pedantic. I don't actually think that level of pedanticism is making it safer. Do you know what I
No,
mean? Like,
no.
you're going to have concussions anyway in rugby union. Like,
Dude, fucking as one of the Aussie centers, correct? Fuck, I can't remember who it was, but he got yellow carded, I think, for the way he ran into contact, they were like, and like he's literally got a guy coming in to cut him in half, and he's just sort of like gone to like bounce him off, and he got yellow carded for it.
Oh my God. See, that's crazy. That will hurt. That will kill a game.
Yeah.
Because like eventually, because the problem with those kind of rules, it never can go back. You can never pull that back because then you all of a sudden don't give a fuck about CTE, you know? Whereas like once the cat's out of the bag, it's fucking.
They also like Jerome Luai on the weekend did a great tackle on someone where he's just picked him up, driven him into the ground, the guy knocked it on. Like that would be a penalty in rugby union because it's like their dangerous tackle levels as well are really, really weak.
Wow. Because it's like the shoulder charge. That can never come back now because of the PR nightmare that would be. So like when you make those decisions like with union it's just like, it feels like it's only ever going to get more safe because we'll get to a point where it's like contact. You just know that contact.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds crazy. I'm talking like way down the line. But if you don't it's kind of like the UFC with MMA. Remember when that first came out and everyone's like, this is fucking brutal.
Yeah.
And the UFC was just like, nah, we are brutal, we're loud, we're brash, we let our athletes say some very dubious things and we don't give a fuck. And now that they were the fastest growing sport in the world.
Yeah.
That's where I think the UFC got it right. They just said, you know what?
Fuck it. Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
It's hard to be
It's
too
ballsy.
concerned about fucking CTE when you've got, people kicking each other in the face.
Yeah.
You kind of have to just roll with that.
Yeah, but they could have done things like, they could have done things that like the fights get stopped way quicker.
Yeah.
If you get knocked down, the fight's over. Like they could have done so many things. Whereas like it's a brutal sport. Sometimes I wish that we just took that route of like, and obviously not that brutal, nowhere near that brutal, but the route of like, you know what? Fuck it. This is the entertainment business. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I think we've kind of landed at a good space. There's still some head highs where I'm like, oh, I don't like. But I think the mid-year was outrageous. The space we're in right now, I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt the game too much.
No, I think so.
It's been relatively good. Also, just back on the rugby championship, the Tom and Thor fucking Taniela Tupou.
Get him on league.
Just a rugby union handful.
What about that flick? The
Joshy Schuster.
Bruh.
He is, we were looking at his dimensions up on Hello Sport. He
Thick.
is 135 kilos and he's like 5'10".
5'11".
5'11". Yeah, dude, he's fucking humongous.
When we say the word thick is the word of the day, that's
It's
thick.
as thick as it gets, and he's got fast feet, like he's fucking agile, he's got ball skills. He is almost like the most impossible person to tackle, I think, on the planet.
Can he be thicker?
He played 77 minutes at front row. Like, he's a fucking machine.
Can't be thicker.
Can't be thicker than that.
Cannot be thicker.
Thickest man in rugby, in rugby, period. Rugby league or union.
135 kilos
Bruh.
of muscle.
And he can
at
still
5'11"?
move.
Dude, he moves so well.
Or 5'10". He
He's a
might be
beast.
5'10", bro.
And Michael Hooper, shout out to our skipper, who most capped captain in the history of rugby union, or in the history
He's
of the
true
world.
blue. Doesn't get much true blue.
Oh,
in
no,
that.
his country.
Mate, he just rips and tears. He just is fucking. The difference between his worst and best game is almost non-existent.
He lives to rip and tear.
Yeah.
Even like he's Dave Goggins pretty much. He's just ripping and
He's
tearing.
Goggins. He could play rugby league, I reckon. He'd be a good back rower.
Lock, you reckon?
Yeah. Yep.
He'd be. There'd be a few of those union boys that are like. There's a centre I think that debuted this year. He's a gun, a young centre. I can't remember his name, but he was a fucking.
Patea. Oh, no,
Yeah, I think it's
he's a good player. He may not have debuted this year, but he's like a fucking up and coming.
Yeah, he's a gun. But yeah, so New Zealand sit on 20 points, 4 wins, 0 losses, 4 bonus points. South Africa sit on 10 points, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 bonus points. Australia 9 points, 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 bonus point. Argentina. Whenever I see the word Argentina, I think of "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina."
I was just about to say that.
Really?
Yeah. I agree.
I
with you.
don't.
Really?
You don't?
No.
Eddie's not a music guy.
Not a music guy.
Not really.
Really? I would have thought you would have been the music guy.
No, he's a music guy. He was in a band.
Oh yeah, you were in a band, eh?
Yeah, bro.
What was the name of your band?
Drifts.
DRIFS.
You know what's funny is like whatever you said then, it was going to be funny.
It was never going to be cool.
Yeah, like it was never going to, oh
Mate,
shit,
it
that's
was
cool,
never
mate.
cool. But I mean, like, I was a drummer, so I was hardly involved. You know what I mean? Like,
Did you think you were hot?
No, I didn't think I was hot. I was very self-conscious. I'm like not a really self-conscious person, but I've
Yeah.
never been more self-conscious than that.
Why?
Don't know, because you're performing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
You're fucking, and I wasn't good either. Like I'd fuck up all the time. We're playing live shows, and I'd just fuck up, or like a stick and it's like I have like heaps
What, a
of
stick would
drumsticks.
fly out?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, can someone get that? And
So you got your cock out and hit it with use your cock instead.
Wouldn't have made a good sound.
Really?
No,
Did you bring extra drumsticks?
I would have eventually, but again, like you're playing fucking to like 8 people.
What's the biggest crowd you ever played in front of?
We actually played in front of a big crowd once. We went on like a tour with some like
When was that?
Like, tour is a loose term. It was fucking. It was like fucking up to Canberra, and then like we did something, 1 or 2 in Canberra, then 1 or something on the way back. And
It's a pub crawl.
another
It was
one
a
in
pub crawl.
Sydney. But they were because the band that we were doing it with were actually like popular. So I don't know how the fuck we.
Do you have
got
any
there.
stories of like the music biz like fucking you over?
No, definitely not. You have to be paid for that to happen.
Of like some star
We just
going,
used
you
to
ain't
just
shit.
get shit face. We just used to go like it was fun.
Yeah.
'Cause you just go and you get blind.
Any groupies?
No, there
No
wasn't.
groupies?
I was single at the time, but no, don't think so.
Not even like
Not
what
even on the
fuck-
tour?
Isn't that
No,
what?
I don't think so.
Isn't that what music's for?
Yeah, but we would just get belted. One time, my old man, who used to work in like the
He's a
music industry, he was coming along, and we were at, what was it, someplace on like Kinsellas or some shit, and they had a green room. We're like, fuck yeah, sick green room. So we just went in there and we just got maggot, like before we've gone on. And we got up there, obviously playing to almost no one. And my old man rocks up, and we were shit-faced on stage. And I just was like watching it there, and I watched him just sort of like walk out and just leave. I was like,
He left.
He left.
he watched a bit. He watched it, and he was like, but then like he just sort of, I just saw him at the back, sort of like meander around out there, and like I saw him afterwards, but he was like, "You guys are just fucking shit-faced."
Was he like, this is what my life's come to?
Well, I
Dingy-
think he was just
dingy
more
pub.
like, maybe don't get fucking bombed if you're asking me to come along, and like we fucked up as a result of being drunk. Like it wasn't like we were good enough to.
Was there any point where you're like, I might do this for a living?
No. Well,
Was
no.
there ever a time where you were like, we may have cracked it?
No, but if you go to our there's like a, what are they, SoundCloud or Bandcamp? We actually have like I saw
What is
like,
it? Is
you
it?
know,
What's the name of it? We can go look at it.
Driffs, DRIFS.
So we can go and listen to your fucking band now.
on SoundCloud
Check
from like 10 years ago.
Please, people listening, please go. It's called Drift. How you DRIFT?
No, FFS.
Drifts. What does that mean?
Dude, I don't know.
DRIFFS on SoundCloud.
Yes. But there's like some of the songs have got like fucking a few, like maybe 90,000, maybe ones over 100,000 plays
No
and
way.
shit. Yeah. I don't know how.
You should have as an intro to your fucking potty.
Yeah, me just playing it just on repeat. No, we've already got a pretty.
Did you
solid
pay?
intro.
Have you like in the music business? Do you pay for streams?
That's what I mean. Yeah,
get, like,
yeah,
popular?
yeah. Well, you need to get paid to pay for streams. That was it. We never got paid once, I don't think.
Like even doing gigs.
Well, like you would have, but it was so.
What about the casino? We went to the casino
Oh
once.
yeah, we got paid $500 once to play at a casino at the Star City.
Yeah.
That was all right. We would have got paid, but like, it was such small money that you weren't really chasing it up.
So you didn't get one chick the whole time.
Look, I might have done it, but I'm married now, and my
You
missus
don't need,
watches
you don't need
the
to go
show.
on detail. I'm just saying, like, living the life.
Did you get a groupie, yes or no?
Yes.
Did she like, I fucking love the Drifts?
Yeah, she was a drift. She was like, she'd follow us around.
No.
No, I'm joking.
Some guy. Joe, you should have just gone with it. That was a good story.
No. But
like-
someone I found the other day, our mate sent us a thing, some random dribbler, and it's only just recently made a music video for one of the songs. And one of the boys sent us, goes, dude, check this out. And it is bonkers.
Okay, well, hang a sec. So a music video for one
there's
of
a
your
music
songs.
video.
For one of our songs.
Has it got you in it?
No. He's just gone and made it like with him and this chick, and it's like some chick like
What?
hanging out.
He's made it recently?
Yeah. So, well, I saw it recently. I don't know, but it's weird.
Holy shit.
And it's like some chick sort of like sitting on sand dunes and shit and like digging through the sand and like finding a box with a shell in it. And we're like, what the fuck is this shit?
Why did he make it?
Bro, he's
And
a
just
fan,
like choosing
man.
your songs.
Is he a fan of Drifts?
No,
or is he a dribbler?
no, he's a dribbler who... No, sorry, not a dribbler, isn't a punter and dribbler. He is someone who likes the band and it's just...
Oh, so he's a groupie.
He's a groupie.
Well, I'm not going to fuck him though, am I?
Well, you
I mean,
could.
who knows?
You certainly could.
2021.
It is 2021.
Be bold, be beautiful.
You know what's crazy is like anything that like used to be different. People would say the year of like, oh, it's 2019. And you go, oh, okay, well, fuck, I'll
Well,
just
sweet,
go
I'll
anyone.
fuck him then. Yeah, cool. Perfect.
Well, that's crazy. Did you have
So
any,
your only groupie is a guy? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's
did you have any infighting between like egos getting to like, I'm the man, fuck,
No. Well, again, I was the drummer, so I'm like...
you're the
I'm just
bitch?
going to be back here just doing my
Did you
thing.
ever like say, what about this beat? And they're like, fuck off.
Yeah, probably. That would have happened for sure.
Did you ever have solos where you were like, no, hit it, Tom? And you actually go,
No, No solos, unfortunately. I think they knew what they were working with.
So you think you're Travis Barker? That's what you're trying to say here.
I was obsessed with Travis Barker.
Because like I'm Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah,
you're Travis Barker. We did a song together.
Right, Travis Barker might be the best drummer in the world.
You could be Megan Fox.
Happy to be. Happy to be Megan.
This is working out nicely.
Guess what? So Conor McGregor just recently put up a post saying your girl's favourite fighter, and it's a footage of Megan Fox at one of his fights.
Oh, I saw her like through the. I saw that photo. I didn't realize he put that up.
I think so.
That's so good.
So good.
It's so.
No, as in like he's obviously that whole scene was a
good
joke.
as a content thing.
Yes, it's him just like never taking a day off from this shit, right? Like
childish
he's about
nonsense.
that life of just talking shit and like
He's got 2 kids.
3.
Mate, he loves it. He consumes it.
It's just like, bruh.
I'd be like, who
The
could
world
be
would be
fucked?
but like the thing, as much as it's, you know, his behavior is fucking, some of it's a bit like on the nose. Like it is also,
Highly entertaining.
it's great. Like
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
the sport's better for having him in it, right? Like
Oh,
for
yeah.
all of the, obviously for all of his like the greatness, but just even just the dribble.
From a purely like nihilistic sense or like who gives a fuck about anything, it's pure entertainment.
Yeah.
Pure entertainment.
But utter dribble.
Yeah, like he's what, 31 years old?
31, 32, yeah.
And he's like
And he's now in a fight with Machine Gun Kelly.
putting up videos of her at the thing going, your girl's favourite
First
fighter.
2-time UFC champion.
Fuck.
Worth fucking shitloads of money.
Shitloads.
Spends his time fucking posting shit about Megan Fox.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Anyway, Driffs on SoundCloud.
Check him out.
Check him out. Could be a revival. You never know.
We're coming back.
I'd love to see a comeback concert.
Yeah. Maybe before a bloke show.
That would be.
Before a bloke
Yes,
show,
yes.
you could
I'll drum you guys on
dust
stage.
you could dust off the old banana singer.
The old bananas to get out there and just fucking get the arms out.
Yeah, he used to get the arms out, the pipes out every show.
Wear a bandana on that.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Oh,
not
fuck.
bad.
Now, Panthers orange shirt trainer has been suspended for the rest of the season, and the club has been fined $25,000. Blue trainer also given a warning. You know, what are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Good.
So basically, for people listening that may have missed Monday's thing, he called the game to a stop without going on the field and checking as to what the injury was, and that's not. He's also been caught doing it before.
Yeah.
What do you got, Matt?
This has just come through on Fox Sports. I sent it to your phone. There's a quote that's come through that you might want to read out. The blue shirt has now come out defending the Panthers, saying it wasn't cheating. So it's quite interesting.
The blue shirt. I'm glad they were fine. It seems like a fucking bullshit. Like, obviously, also the rule is stupid. I think where the trainer's stopping, I get why they do it because of player safety and all that sort of stuff. But like, it was just so.
But surely
it
the
fucks the game in a point where like Parramatta were on the attack and Penrith were under the pump, and it's not a very. It's just like it's a really dishonourable way to go about getting an upper hand, as opposed to like, I get bending the rules here and there and maybe taking advantage of the 6 again tackle, but like having a trainer come in and just fuck it like that.
So the quote is, okay, so Hayden Knowles, so their blue shirt, Hayden Knowles, not the one suspended, said this to the media. Knowles came out and slammed the NRL over the decision to sanction the Panthers, insisting this was not cheating in an interview with Sydney Morning Herald. Mitch Kenny's ankle is like a balloon and black. Even between his toes are black. The bleeding has run all the way down the side of his feet to his toes. Mitch's character is you get back and defend, but he couldn't. There was no way he could have. He didn't stay down, and how can you argue otherwise? Who knows more than Pete Green in this situation? If the same thing happened again, you would get the same outcome. That's not the problem. The problem is no one checked like what the issue was. And also, even though Mitch Kenny is tough as fuck, no one is questioning Mitch Kenny. He's
that's
tough
not the point.
as fuck. You can't stop a game for an ankle injury.
Yeah.
The set rolls on. He wasn't in the impeding anything. The set rolls on until there's a stoppage, and then you get him off the field.
Yeah.
So that is bizarre.
Because he wasn't in the way. He was behind the fucking play.
They go on 10 metres
That's
past
what I
him.
mean. So it's like, sure, he was injured, and sure, he needed to come off. Sure, his ankle's fucked. You can't stop the game for that. That's just part of that's part of the game.
That's got to be a intentional quote from the trainer to take the pressure off the players. in the sense of like he's come out and said that. Now the yarn all week is going to be about the trainer and not like, oh, fucking Penrith. Like, how's, this player going to handle this player in the Storm? And I reckon there's no way the Panthers would have allowed him to say that without, giving him the green light to go. I mean, maybe I'm fully just looking way too into it, but that seems like a pretty, like for a trainer to come. When have you ever seen trainer come out and say something like that? Never. After being fined $25,000 and the guy has been suspended for the rest of the year.
How often does this happen?
Well, I'm not sure. What I do know is that same trainer has been warned officially by the NRL before for doing the same thing.
It was for a cramp with kick-out last time.
Kick-out. It was like, I think Kiko ran back with the team, then stopped when the other team got the ball, and they were like doing fucking cramping, stretching in the middle of the field whilst the other team was waiting to start. Don't you reckon that's bizarre? The trainer would come out and say that after getting fined $25,000.
Well, he wasn't.
His mate.
But, I mean, it's bizarre because what he's saying makes no difference, and he would know that.
It's got to be a misdirection.
Has to be.
Has to be.
Because he knows what he's saying is not relevant.
Yeah. Like no one. I have not seen a single person question Mitch Kenny.
I think I heard Gordy Tallis say he went down with my team's under the pump injury.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. But I haven't seen that. Hasn't been the yarn online.
That's not the focal point of the narrative. Whilst I can stick up for Mitch. His ankle's fucked. But the thing was more about the way the trainer handled the situation.
And even if the trainer went out there and was like, "Oh, your ankle's pretty bad," you still can't stop the game for an ankle.
And he stopped the game before he'd seen it.
Yeah, he was literally like 20 meters away.
In that situation though, and he's asked the ref to stop the game. Does he have to say why?
I'm not sure.
To try and clean that element up a little bit.
Well, it's hard because then the ref has to make a call and the ref can't be a doctor on the field. He's just got to trust that the trainer is being fair dinkum. Because if he goes, I've got to stop the game for an ankle injury, looks like an syndesmosis or whatever, then the ref has to go, yes, you know what I mean? Whereas
but don't the trainers run messages to the team?
Well, it happens all pretty quickly. What do you mean though?
So I'm saying that the trainers are an extension of the side, right? And so there can be room for misleading refs, right?
Oh yeah, I mean they misled him then. They called out to stop the game before they even fucking checked on it.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm just saying, is it the best system?
I reckon that unless
with that in mind.
Yeah. I think unless it's a head knock or fucking something, you can just literally his legs fucking hanging off, snapped or whatever. I think there's no way you should stop. No way.
Yeah.
No way. No, I agree that they need to change the system. Absolutely need to change the system. And the fact that trainer has been officially warned before, in saying all of that, what a play by the trainer to bend the rule. When you take out the integrity of it, and every club bends the rules. Every club bends rules. There's not a single one that doesn't. It was a great play by the trainer and Ivan Cleary and everyone, because Ivan Cleary would have told him to stop.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. It's bending of the rules.
Absolutely.
Via the trainer.
Yeah, it fucking
sucks. They used to run messages out to the team anyway.
Yeah.
It sucks, but, if...
It's a dishonourable bending of the rules.
But I mean, Fergo, he stayed down holding his neck.
I thought that was fucking... he looked like an idiot after that.
Yeah, that was silly. But it's all... That's where it's not... The players are always going to bend the rules, as we saw Penrith do, as we saw the Eels do. It's the NRL body, it's their responsibility to ensure that rules aren't bent. Yeah. So, for example, if next year, if that happened with Ferguson, I would have given the penalty to Panthers.
Yeah.
If I had seen him do that, I'd have gone, you're 100% faking it, clearly.
Yeah.
See you later. If there was a replay and he was barely touched and he holds his neck, I'd give a penalty to the Panthers. Or whatever opposite team it was. We got to stop somehow trying. Or even if he stays down, then you've got to go off. If you're that injured that it hurts so bad that you can't get up, you got to remember these guys play with broken ribs and shit, broken fucking faces. Because
Michael wants to look at everything else.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
if a bloke's playing down for a penalty and it's obvious as fuck.
Yeah.
What's wrong with penalising him?
Well, even to an extent of let's say he does stay down and he holds his neck and he gets the penalty. You got to go off though. Like if you've been down for 2-3 minutes or a minute or whatever, and you're that injured, you should be taken from the field. And if they do bring that in, I think a lot less people will stay down because they're like, I'm not going to get fucking taken off the field because I'm injured. They got to sort it out though, because that's been my pet hate all year is people, as soon as they go like that, the ref's just like, oh shit, penalty.
Players also back into tackles now and fucking trying
and
to get
your
themselves
neck's
into
always
position.
going to be bent. Matter of fact, over this whole year, how many players, other than Chance, I think, and I don't even think that was from a grapple, it could have been, but I don't think it was, not a grapple, a crusher. How many players have actually injured their neck? I can't remember.
None
any.
off the top of the dome.
So clearly it's not an issue, and hopefully they don't injure their neck. But I even mean just like a stiff neck.
Yeah.
Like no players missed any footy that I know of that from getting crusher tackled. Don't get me wrong, it's still a fucking dangerous tackle when they do it intentionally. But the little ones that happen, we've got to find a way to sort that out. But yeah, very interesting that they've come out and said, the Panthers have come out and said that. I think it's a misdirection. But Brandon Smith has said, Brian To'o, he's a concrete head. He has a concrete head. It's so hard. We hate the Panthers because they're so good. To'o named in 21. Here's a graph that shows runs per game and for how many metres. He's making the same numbers of runs per game as Gallen in 2015, but for many more metres. Panthers will hope he plays on the weekend. Graph courtesy of the ABC. In To'o, To'o, same amount of runs, but he's averaging 250 metres per run, whereas Gallen in 2015 was averaging 205-ish metres per run. That's pretty fucking crazy.
He's off the charts,
Yeah.
Brian. He's basically not on the chart.
Literally.
That is fucking outrageous.
Yeah.
Because like all the other people, the average is so far. He's nearly double. He's more than double the average.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, he's easily. He might even be.
Mate, the average is like, 100 metres? He's running for 250.
That's ridiculous.
And he's taking.
Like, that's where a lot of those dots are condensed.
He's more than doubling the amount of runs the average has, and he's more than doubling the amount of meters. So he's in both scenarios, he's doubled the average. Fuck, that's crazy.
25 runs a game? 23? That's a lot.
He's a bad man.
Fuck, he trucks nut, doesn't he?
He trucks nut all right.
He trucks serious nut.
It's one of the greatest years of trucking of nut we've ever seen.
Well, I mean, look, he's sort of putting nut trucking he's taking nut trucking to a different level where it's like, usually you're not meant to make any meters as a nut trucker, or at least you're not meant to get over 100. You're meant to sort of not score tries. He's doing it all.
Now, Nathan Cleary's shoulder versus Christian Welch. We saw what Welch could do in the grand final. We saw what happened when Welch got injured in Origin. Big job for Liam Martin and to protect his half. However, Martin said Cleary is tough enough to handle the heat. Okay. So, yeah, what do you guys think about the Nathan Cleary shoulder thing? Do you think that's going to be a concern? Like, do you think Storm are going to target it? He seems to have handled everything.
Yeah, I didn't realise his shoulder was even...
Well, he needs a reconstruction.
Ongoing. Yeah, he needs a reco. But, I hadn't noticed that it was...
There was this little clip where he kind of, cradled it a little bit. It was like a tiny clip.
There was Panthers fans, we asked them, what do you think Cleary's been flat the last couple of weeks, or at least since he's come back? And a lot of them were like, yeah, I think he may be a little bit flat because of the shoulder.
A little bit
potentially, injured. You know what I mean? Are they going to... Well, I think it'd be mad not to target it. Why wouldn't you?
Well, surely people are targeting it, right?
But why wouldn't the Storm target it?
That's exactly what you do. And when you've got someone as big and as thick as Christian Welch, friend of the show, all-round rugby league good guy.
Well, he's a rugby league good guy, but he's also prepared to be a rugby league bad guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That shows his versatility.
Exactly, the diversity of personas that Christian can have. And look, don't be fooled by the name Christian either.
Yeah. He ain't no saint.
He ain't no saint. He's got a bit of devil in him.
Bit of devil may care.
And I'm sure that he'll run straight at Nathan Cleary's
You've had a bit
shoulder.
of devil in you as well this year, haven't you?
I have had devil in me. And
how's it taste?
Well, it tastes like a fucking grand final prelim, baby. That's how it fucking tastes. How do you think it tastes?
Can you describe that taste for us, please?
Look, no, I can't, Denon, only because I blocked my nose, and that's a pretty good way to just you know what I mean? If you go like that, you can't taste, which actually I'm sure isn't even true, but
doesn't suck and tell.
Except you did tell us.
Well, yeah, but I didn't go into the nitty-gritty.
Didn't go into the nitty-gritty.
I'm a classy gentleman.
That's it.
Have you spoken to the devil since you sucked his dick?
Yeah, look, we text sometimes. He doesn't always reply, which is hurtful, but
Does he give you booty calls and that?
I haven't gone back. The service rendered has yielded the results that we want.
I think you may need another visit to get a grand final.
No.
You just said that was prelim.
No, I was just saying it tastes like a prelim because we're in the prelim.
So it doesn't taste like a grand final.
I know why I was there and I was...
But it didn't taste like a grand final.
Well, we aren't in the grand final yet.
Yeah, but how can you retroactively say it tasted like a grand final? You've said it tastes like a prelim.
Well, because we're in the prelim right now. If we're in the grand final, I'll go, oh, well, it's the first time I've sucked a devil, so I realise now that it was actually a grand final taste.
I think you need to check the fucking T's and C's of the contract that you entered with.
Listen.
The devil.
He's. I'll give you his number. You can try him yourself.
I'm good.
If anyone needs to suck the devil at this point, I think it's you.
No, I'm a good God-fearing man.
I think you need to get on your knees for Satan.
I'm a God-fearing man. I wouldn't go anywhere near that. I'm going to rely on the true purity, on the Lord to get us.
Well, maybe you suck the Lord then.
The Lord needs help too.
Yeah.
The Lord's not off limits.
No. We've got his number as well.
Okay, so also the story of what Taniela Paseka to the Seagulls, Scott Fulton, Manly recruitment manager, asked Paseka's manager, Craig Baker, if he has any young forwards with the same size or mobility. Baker sent Fulton a video that went for just 3 minutes and 50 seconds, and Fulton said, we'll take him. If he has any young forwards with same size or mobility. Same size and mobility as who?
Some size and mobility.
Oh, some size.
So he's gone to Paseka's manager. You got any big,
and he just sent a 3-minute thing. Wow.
You got any big thickies that move gracefully across the paddock? Yeah, sure. I've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds of
Taniela
Paseka. Fulton, yeah, we'll take him.
Now, I mean,
thanks for coming.
It's no coincidence that Taniela Tupou and Taniela Paseka share the same name and the same, thickness.
And the same desire to be great.
Same desire to be great, the same desire to rip and tear, same desire to win comps. Taniela Paseka is a fantastic rugby league footballer. And I said it, I think, on the live stream. Watching that man thicken every year, and truthfully thicken, because he was a big boy, but he was thin. And then every year it's just getting thicker. I'm watching those quads just go like... Now he's just the thickest player in the comp, I would say.
He's
like the journey from milk to custard, just thickens up.
Exactly right.
All right, now, match preview. South
We made it.
Versus Manly. Who would have thought that we would be here?
We did.
Who would have thought that it would be
We did.
Hello Sport versus Matty the Waterboy. Matty the Waterboy is a Rabbitohs fan, people, so a massive Rabbitohs fan, actually. He even did a bit of work with the Rabbitohs. Who would have thought that you two would be clashing like this?
I've got a question for Matt because he's also a fucking huge Eminem fan. If you had the choice for South to win a grand final or you to spend the afternoon with Eminem, what would you choose?
I've been asked this many times, and my number one priority is always Rabbitohs grand final.
Ooh,
that's a great omen. That's a great omen.
It's not an omen.
That is an omen.
It's just him saying something.
No, it's an omen of a fan dedicated to the cause.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Look, having studied omenry,
extensively,
it's not an omen.
Here's a real question.
It's just a dribbler saying something.
Here's a real question that you should have been asked.
Can't trust a dribbler.
Here's a real question.
Yeah.
He sucked the devil's dick. Would you suck Eminem's dick for a premiership?
That's a better question.
I'd suck Eminem's dick for sure.
That's disgusting.
Goodness me.
Jesus.
He's a fan.
He didn't really suck the devil's dick, bro.
Yeah, I did.
You're a
Don't
sicko.
play down my fucking
sacrifice
exploits.
Is Eminem the devil? Some media outlets would have you believe.
Some would have you believe that. Certainly in the
well, I mean,
90s,
that
early 2000s.
We may have the two most committed fans to rugby league.
Yeah, no one's more committed than Eddie and myself. Eddie gave a hamstring. I gave my mouth to the cause of Manly.
And you got scabies as well.
Well, it wasn't scabies. It was foot and mouth, hand, foot, mouth.
Did you suck his toes?
No, it's just an unfortunate byproduct of the devil's dick, I guess. No one told me that going in. Would I do it again? Absolutely.
Of course you would, because we're here.
Yeah.
1 win away. And looking unbelievable.
I can't... Oh, another stat for you. Here's a stat. Des Hasler hasn't lost a prelim.
Really?
Okay.
That's
all right.
But Bennett is a bit of a finals footy. He loves
Bennett's old, dude. He's old as fuck. He doesn't know what's going on. With the greatest respect...
Well, how'd they go last year?
Yeah. Bennett can't win prelims.
They went better than Manly last year.
Bennett can't win prelims.
How'd they go last year? Where'd they lose?
Better than Manly.
Where'd they lose?
Where did they drop
Where
out?
did Manly lose? That's a
No, but where'd they
Where
lose?
did they drop out?
Manly
Was it a
dropped
prelim?
out before the
Where'd
final.
they lose a week before? Like the year before that?
Souths are a prelim
Fuck, was it a
team.
prelim? They're a prelim side. Some teams love a prelim. Some
Souths
teams
love a
love a prelim.
Where-
Last time we versed South in a prelim,
We won. Well, we've never lost a prelim, so that makes sense. Listen, Souths are fucked. I don't see a situation here where Manly doesn't win. I was nervous against the Roosters last week because it was a bit of an unknown. It was like finals. It was just we come off the back of a loss and like we win so well on the weekend. I've never been more confident of a 13-plus victory. Never. In the whole season. They're coming, it's like the Souths played their grand final when they beat the Panthers. Now they're fucked.
They had a full rest, though. Full week rest.
Full rest. Fuck that.
no,
They've
a
actually
full week
had
to think about playing Manly.
They've had too much of a rest now. They rested the week before they played Penrith, and now they're resting a week after. Some of these players haven't fucking played a game in like 6 years.
Can overrest. I'll give you.
You can oversleep, Dennis.
Fucking oath you can oversleep. You know when you wake up and you're like, ooh, I could go back to sleep, and you do, and you regret it for the rest of the day.
You wake up at 11
and
and
you're
you're like,
cloudy and you wake up at 11, you've missed 1,000 calls, you feel like shit,
Yeah.
you can't get it right, you can't get into a rhythm, you can't get into a mood.
Souths have overslept.
They've overslept. And not only that, when they've woken up for an oversleeping, they've gone, holy shit, who are we playing? Oh, Manly, fuck, I've overslept and we're playing Manly. And Manly have dusted themselves off after one of the great boilos of all time. And now we're in a mood. And everyone fucking knows it.
And
What,
Matty-
you don't think that of all the people that know we're in a mood, the Rabbitohs aren't aware?
They know we're in a mood. And Matty even said as much last week after Manly beat the Roosters. He was like, I didn't want you guys to win. Because Souths are a bunch of flat track bullies. They're soft. And we're about to dust.
What are your thoughts on...
And they beat a pretty ordinary Panthers side.
What are your thoughts on Manly getting called flat track bullies?
Listen, Ryan Girdler, a dear friend and a legend of the game, but those comments are as disgraceful as any comments in the history of rugby league. The man has 4 cafes on the northern beaches.
Wonder why.
He's Trojan horsed us, and it's a fucking disgrace.
So explain the Trojan horse theory.
Well, so the Trojan horse theory is when in the Battle of Troy, some 3,000 years ago, do
Plus.
your own research.
Roughly.
The
Greeks couldn't penetrate the walls
Trojan
of
walls.
the Trojans.
So they built a horse as an offering, as a like, let's squash the beef.
Yeah.
The Trojans, with a lack of people who can read omens, Eddie and I, they went, oh, this is just a nice, generous offer from some people that realised they weren't up to it. They weren't up to our walls. So they let the horse into the building, into the walls. They let the horse in. And then overnight, they just left it. They're like, oh, this horse is sick. We'll come fucking have a proper squiz at it tomorrow.
We'll
once we've
ride
had-
it later.
Once we've had a sleep. Overnight, they'd hollowed out this fucking horse before they built the thing was hollow, filled with soldiers. They all climb out,
chocolate?
city walls, bang, bang, bang. They took Troy. So Girdler, with all of his cafes, is the Trojan horse coming into the peninsula. Everyone's loving his cafes. Girdler's growing. They're everywhere. Avalon, DY, fucking Warringah Mall.
Yeah.
And then he starts bagging us. And we're like, wait a minute. We let you in here.
Okay. Are you Achilles?
I would like to think so.
Or is Tom Travoy
Well, actually, Achilles was Greek. I'm Trojan. So I'm Eric Banner and you're Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, I just chill and root and fuck everything up.
Oh, fuck.
Happy to be that guy. But it was a little disappointing from Gertz, who's made a home on the peninsula, has made money off the people of the peninsula. To turn around and make those sort of comments was
Yeah,
disappointing.
it was
They were disappointing.
And hey, they're great cafes. Again, love Gertz. Great cafes, great sandwiches, great
I
coffees.
tell you
great.
what's disappointing, on top of all that, is that you can only play what's in front of you, Tom. Yeah, we've had some
Flatter tracks.
mediocre losses against Melbourne Storm this year, but we basically played everyone when we were down on troops. We've already explained to everyone listening that the second time we played the Panthers this year in Bathurst, we basically won the game. In fact, a lot of people watching thought we did watch the game. Win the game.
A lot of people said we won.
So I just think those comments are they're completely out of line.
And they were aggressive. I feel like he's
Are they
a little
based
bit,
in reality?
I think he's nervous about Manly. That to me, you know that meme where there's like that stuffed teddy and he's sort of like looking that way? That was Gertz as a Penrith fan, like
Love that
looking at
meme.
Manly, going like,
That is a
oh,
great meme.
fuck.
Going, oh shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. It's going to be interesting.
That's obviously how you see it, I'm guessing.
In all seriousness, even though I love Gertz, I think he's fucking great. I think it's great. You know what I love, and I've spoken about this on a podcast. I love that he's come out and said it after they had a big win. not after they had a big
Yes.
loss.
Yeah.
Because that takes balls, and I respect that shit.
Yeah.
But I also respectfully disagree because it's like they towed up. The Sydney Roosters finished on equal points to Manly, and they finished with half. Like it's not like they only just lost half their side. They fucking haven't had half their side for the whole season. So I maybe we have different definitions of flapjack bully, but it's kind of paradoxical. Like Manly are beating the sides they should beat, and then they're narrowly, other than that one big loss to the Storm, losing to sides that are above them on the table. It's like isn't that normal?
And we also pumped the fuck out of the Eels twice this year, who were in the top 4 when they were pumped.
Yeah, I mean,
and everyone's like, Manly hasn't been in the top 4 side.
I mean,
we've done it twice.
Even round 2, it's 26-12, and you didn't even have Tommy there against South, and South aren't. They're a top 4 side.
Yeah.
And anyway, look, at the end of the day, if you want to say, oh, you haven't beaten the fucking top 4 sides, sweet, bro. That's fine. Count us out. Count us out.
Count us out.
I don't get
Count
that.
us out. That's fine. That's sweet.
You only just like you came fourth, so it is correct that you probably shouldn't beat Manly and Penrith yet. You're getting better as the year has progressed. Like, so I don't understand the idea that if you lose by 2 tries to the Storm and to Penrith, like that's about right. You know, that's where you sit on the table. Like it's.
And then we absolutely maul everyone else.
And you beat the Eels. So but as I said, I've got so much respect that he come out like a ballsy thing to say after they had a big win. I think it's I love it.
Yeah,
that's the yarn.
And he's a fucking great person.
Yeah,
like, he's not a Mayo man.
No, put it this way: plenty of other people say outrageous things that we don't quote on the podcast. The reason why we would quote a guy like Girdler is because like we fully respect and like him.
Yes, and his opinion actually like comes from somewhere.
100%.
Exactly, holds weight.
And even if you disagree with it, it's coming from a genuine place.
Yes.
Now, both teams' attacking records have broken attacking records this year. South first team ever to score 30-plus points in 8 consecutive games. Manly first team to have 3 players to score 20-plus tries. Reynolds versus DCE is a mouth-watering matchup.
Yes, it is.
Team news: South 1-17 from the team that beat Penrith. Manly 1-17 for the team that beat the Roosters. Let's have a score prediction. Man of the match, all that good stuff.
Yep. I made a mistake last week. Obviously, it was a mistake of sorts. Jake should have been man of the match, but the reason that Kempy just sort of like snuck in was because if Manly win, usually Tommy's man of the match. So I'm going Tommy man of the match off the top. I need to get a win on this thing. I haven't had 1 point given to my name the entire fucking time. So we're going Tommy man of the match first. Manly 13+, but you need a score, don't you? It's going to be about 36-8.
Holy shit.
Tommy
That's
man
a
of the
rugby
match.
league pumping.
Yeah.
I think it may be a pinch tighter than that, but not by this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking 24-10, DCA man of the match, because I think that he needs to lift and have an absolute ball terror, and I think the stage is set for Daly to rip and tear. And I think he does. I think 24-10. I think it'll be fucking grindy stuff early. First half will be grindy as fuck. And then I think Turbo breaks it open late. But DCE lays the foundation. 24-10.
Okay, DC the man of the match. And yours was Tom, man of the match.
Thomas Trbojevic.
I am going South, 16-10. And I am going Cody Walker, man of the match.
Cody Walker will not get 1 try assist in the game.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to go Damien Cook, man of the match.
Damien Cook will not get 1 try assist in the entire game.
But yeah,
That's all right. You won't get a point for that, so that's fine.
this is... we spoke about this on the last podcast. The keys to victory, in my humble opinion, is Manly just need to be patient. Like, they just need to be patient. They can score points from anywhere. If they start trying to zing the ball from the start, they're going to have a very tough night. Whereas if they're in the last... the 60th minute, 20 minutes to go, whatever, and they're within striking distance of the Rabbitohs, Tommy can put those points on. So their whole thing is completion and patience. They don't need to worry about attack because it will happen because they've got Tom Trbojevic and they've got DCE. The South's key to victory, in my opinion, is obviously like nearly perfect completion and doing everything you can to kick Tommy out of the game. And Adam Reynolds can be that guy because he's got the best kicking game in the comp, arguably. I'd probably still put him at number 1, him and Cleary, but his ability to put the ball where it needs to go. And not only does his kicking aim need to be good, but the kick chase, they need to know exactly where the ball is going before it is kicked. So at that kick chase, they win the set from the start. And that is what I think the keys to victory are.
We going live Friday?
Yeah. Go live Friday.
Fucking oath.
Live this Friday for the Manly versus South. Beers and Footy. Hello Sport Live. It'll probably be on Bloke in a Bar. So I'll be on Bloke in a Bar YouTube channel this week. Make sure to tune in. It was a laugh last time. Now, on to the next game. Panthers versus the Storm. Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m, rolling into the AFL Grand Final. Now, what are you guys picturing here?
I think this is going to be bad for the Panthers, unfortunately. I just reckon that they just got bashed to death against the Eels last week, and they come up against the Storm juggernaut with a week off, who are just fucking, like, they just mauled Manly, right? And I'm just like, if you could do it to the best team in the comp, what are you going to do against the Panthers, right? But I don't know. I just think that the Panthers haven't been
They have been humming,
like they have, at earlier parts of the season, and I just think that game will take a fuckload out of them. Like I read it was the NRL physio report. Basically, half the side was banged up, limping around on crutches, like all fucked up. I just think that a week off for the Storm with Bellamy, like the greatest tactician of all, and those cattle, I think it'll be a long night. I think they could get pumped.
Yep.
I echo Edward's sentiments. I don't like it for the Panthers. I would like the Panthers to win.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'd like the Panthers to win.
I don't think they will.
But I don't think they will. Storm, duffel bag, weapons. What do you want me to do?
But also weapons that have been shined up.
Shined, polished, given a bit
Lubricated?
of a once-over, lubricated, a bit of WD-40 where that's needed, barrels cleaned.
Sights adjusted.
Fucking reloaded, ready to rip
Safety
and
off.
fucking test.
Safety's off. Oh, fuck yeah.
Storm. I just think that Penrith Panthers, that game was so epic. And the effort that the Penrith Panthers and the Eels, but the effort that the Penrith Panthers put in last week was like all-time effort. Like that game is one of the best games I've ever watched. It was outrageous. And is it even physically possible or humanly possible to back that up against a raging Storm? I don't know. And I think the keys for the Storm is, again, patience. They're going to fatigue. There's no, maybe they can and Penrith come out and kill it, which would be amazing. Like, if they come out and put that same effort in, it'll be one of the greatest back-to-back efforts I've personally ever seen. But I can't see how it can be physically possible if the Storm come out complete high and just wait until the last 20 minutes of the match. I can't see how the Penrith Panthers could go with them. How physically? If they do, it will be one of the greatest fucking backups of all time.
Yeah.
They just bash them through the middle and then bring Harry Grant on.
That's
when
what
they're
I mean.
tired, and they'll just fucking tear them apart.
Because watching the game last week, no one took a backward step for 80 minutes. You kept waiting for one team to go, okay, this is the set where we fucking get a bit lazy. We don't get off our line because we're all fucking tired and fucked. No one did for 80 minutes. It was the whole 80 minutes. And I just think that, a raging Storm side. The only problem with the Storm is if they get too confident and they start the game thinking these guys are done. Look, they're all gassed. They're limp. They don't look as energetic. And then all of a sudden they've made 3 or 4 errors. Then the Penrith Panthers get a sniff. And once you get a sniff with a team like Panthers, that can lift you. So fuck. If the Penrith Panthers win it, it'll be fucking incredible. But yeah, I think the Storm are going to win and win comfortably. Harry Grant, Cheese is back. Munster. Pappenhuisen is throbbing like no tomorrow. How do you stop that kind of weaponry coming at you?
Very, very tough.
Oh,
Good
my
luck.
God. I think To'o is a huge back in, though. I think if there is one, weapon in the duffel bag that Storm probably don't have, is Storm don't have a To'o. Whereas everywhere else you could argue, Hughes and Cleary, Cleary's obviously better, but they're both really good. Munster, Luai, when Luai's on, he's really good. Everywhere else, they kind of match up relatively even. I'd say Pappenhuisen is obviously, probably a bit better than Edwards. But a big difference is the amount of work To'o gets through. No winger is coming close to that. Don't get me wrong, Adokar is still fucking incredible finisher, incredible work. But the numbers that To'o's putting up, that could be a point of difference.
Yeah.
That could be something that gives them enough energy to get through it. But you almost think like, even if let's say they did somehow win this game, how do they get up for a grand final a week after? Like,
For that reason, I want them to win.
That's it. That's exactly right.
Fucking oath.
So I'm going, my score is going to be Storm 34, Panthers 16. And I'm going to go man of the match, Papua New Zealand.
I'm going to go 36-6. Man of the match, Harry Grant.
I'm going 28-10 to Melbourne, and man of the match will be Cameron Munster.
Great Mad Dog Munster. That is us done and dusted.
Sorry, one last thing. Storm have just come out and said that they're giving all their members from 2020 and 2021 who live in Victoria free membership for next year.
That's nice.
That is nice.
That's
And
very good.
a flex.
That is, that's a flex.
That's a big flex.
Big flex. Well done. That's good. Good on Storm. Good on them.
Well done, Storm. It must obviously.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's a nice move.
It's nice.
Classy.
Classy. You can afford it, so.
Make sure to follow Hello Sport on Instagram, Punters and Dribblers Group on Facebook, Hello Sport on YouTube, Hello Sport on any podcast app that you have on your phone. Brought to you by Bloke in a Bar. Don't forget, one of the boys' teas, the official tea of me and Finch's podcast, next Monday. 6 p.m. Make sure to be there, guys, because there's a limited amount. Once they're gone, they're gone. And also, if you haven't received your Beers Soon shirt, which most people should have, that's out of our hands. Australia Post has had massive delays due to internal people having to take days off because of the pandemic and everything. There's nothing we can do about that, but every shirt has been sent on our end. So you should get them soon. We have been assured that these shirts, if you buy them on Monday, if you grab them on Monday, you should have them by Thursday. But again, Ozpost, that we don't control that. There's not much we can do about that. All we can do is give them the packages and hope that they get them to you. As usual, guys, thanks for listening, and I'll go fuck myself. Thank you.